looks like we are good to go. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is a big boy of a video. A big boy, because what we are doing today has never been done on the channel, and that means we are going to be reading 1,000, and I'm not exaggerating, 1,000 weird, random, and interesting facts about literally everything and anything. Nothing is off the table. Some things might be off the table, you know, if it's banned by YouTube and stuff like that, but you get my point. We are going to be reading these facts and trying to relax, fall asleep, relieve stress, all of the good stuff that we like to do here on this channel. So I hope you guys are doing well. This is a live stream for those of you who are tuning in afterwards, but for the most part it's like a regular video with the exception of me talking to a few people here or there. So you won't really notice much of a difference, but I digress. Hello Seth. Hello Magnus. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining me this evening. We're reading 1,000 interesting facts today, and it's gonna be a big boy of a video. But yes guys, like I said, it's going to be basically a regular video with me interacting with people here and there. So let's get started. I'll take a sip of my coffee here. It's 7 p.m. and I'm drinking coffee. Probably not the best idea, but I need it to get through, you know, the rest of what I want to do tonight. So here we go. Here we go. And I'm not going to share my screen this evening. I'm just going to leave myself up here. And yeah, we'll do that and see how people like it. Cool. All right. Fact number 1. The scientific term for brain freeze is sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia. That's a big boy of a word. I'll say it again. Sphenopalatine ganglioneuralgia. Imagine if you didn't speak English, if like English was your second or third language. Imagine trying to say that word. It's like you just give up. You wouldn't even bother trying to learn English after that. I need the energy, Magnus. I do. I just finished work, you know, like an hour ago, and I really wanted to stream, but I'm also tired, right? So I'm just like, damn, I just want a game right now, but I also want to make a video. So this is kind of how it's going to help me do this video. I'm trying to put more work into the channel, you know. Awesome, Seth. Welcome. This is live stream number 3. Happy to have you here. Usually the plan is going to be I will stream every Wednesday. I didn't put up an official schedule because I don't want to like commit to a schedule and then I don't show up and people are upset, you know. But most of the time it's probably going to be Wednesday around 7 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's my plan anyway. And I'll also stream on Twitch on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Yeah, I know. Magnus, that is a really big word for just brain freeze. Cold brain. Fact number 2, and I'll be saying the number associated with the fact just so that people who drop into stream later will know where we're at, because this is 1,000 facts. So Canadians say sorry so much that a law was passed in 2009 declaring that an apology can't be used as evidence of admission to guilt. I was actually born in Canada, so but I grew up in New York, so basically I'm not Canadian, although people like to say that I am. So I don't really say sorry very much, but I've heard it's a thing. What games do I play? Well, it depends on what I'm feeling like, but lately I've been playing Dead by Daylight in my free time and on Twitch. The plan is also to play a little bit of a Dark Souls 3. I want to start streaming that on Tuesdays, and then on Thursdays I would stream Dead by Daylight. That's kind of the plan for now. And then occasionally in my free time I play GTA 5 a little bit. Just like to drive around and do some missions here and there. Hey Ben, welcome. Watching from Wales, nice. Very cool. Hope everything's going well for you over there in Wales. It's good to see ya. Canadian people are all guilty. Indeed, they're guilty of being Canadian. I've never been to Wales. I always want to go. It's one of the countries on my bucket list. Back when dinosaurs existed, there used to be volcanoes that were erupting on the moon. That's fact number 3. Fact number 4. The only letter that doesn't appear on the periodic table is J. I don't even remember the periodic table for the most part. I know like potassium is K, obviously oxygen, hydrogen, H, all that stuff, but for the most part I don't remember most of it, so you know how that goes. Canada. Indeed, I'm from Canada. I don't know if I ever mentioned that on my channel before, but I was born there. Very briefly spent like my very early, months of my life there before coming to New York. So I have a dual citizenship. So technically I'm Canadian/American. One habit, fact number 5 by the way, one habit of intelligent humans is being easily annoyed by people around them, but saying nothing in order to avoid a meaningless argument. You could just be an irritable person, though, let's be real. Doesn't make you intelligent, I don't think. Fact number 6. If a polar bear and a grizzly bear mate, their offspring is called a pissy bear. Fact number 7. In 2006, a Coca-Cola employee offered to sell Coca-Cola secrets to Pepsi. Pepsi responded by notifying Coca-Cola. Well, that's pretty ethical, isn't it, for a big corporation like Pepsi? Good on them. I do prefer, if I'm gonna have to pick between the two brands, I'll, pick Pepsi. I just think it tastes better, honestly, than Coca-Cola, but I don't even drink soda for the most part these days. It just has so much sugar that I try to avoid. Even my coffee, my coffee is pitch black dark. So that's kind of how I just roll these days. I love everything. I must be dumb. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just loving everything, because we're only here on this earth for a limited time, Might as well enjoy your time here. In a way, that's the smartest thing you can do, right? Walking around stewing in your own negativity doesn't really do much for your life. Fact number 8. There were 2 AI chatbots created by Facebook to talk to each other, but they were shut down after they started communicating in a language they made for themselves. Now, isn't that terrifying? The 2 chatbots starting talking to each other. This is like the beginning of like a Terminator movie. Facebook AI chatbots just start to invent robots that are sentient and are able to kill humans and stuff. Terrifying. Absolutely horrifying. Fact number 9. Nintendo trademarked the phrase "It's on like Donkey Kong" in 2010. I had no idea they trademarked that, but that is so Nintendo to do that. So Nintendo. Their games, by the way, it's you can't mod them. There's not much you can do with them besides play them. So, it must be a Japanese cultural, company cultural thing. Nonetheless, I digress. Fact number 10. Daniel Radcliffe was allergic to his Harry Potter glasses. I like how this is the one where they decide to expand upon to be fair, I am curious how the hell he managed to work around that. He had an allergy to nickel, and they were quickly replaced with hypoallergenic specs. Also, did you know that his glasses had no lenses? This was to stop the reflection from anything happening behind the scenes. The glass lens was added in post-production. Oh, well, that's interesting. I didn't actually even know that. Pepsi every time, although there's a sugar tax on the original, so it's like twice the price of Diet. I don't know if it's the same in the States. I have no idea. Because I don't buy soda. Like, I don't remember the last time I actually bought soda. The only time I drink soda is if I go to like a fast food place. And I'm like, all right, screw it. But like, even then, it's very rare. I don't remember the last time I drank like soda. I don't think I've had a single like soda beverage this entire year so far. You know, like my guilty pleasures are like fast food occasionally, ice cream, fucking love ice cream, but like shit like soda I avoid because it's just like calories that are like empty calories that are sneaking up on me and I'm not even enjoying it that much. So I don't know. Fact number 11. The famous line in Titanic from Leonardo DiCaprio, "I'm king of the world," was improvised. Isn't it the case with a lot of these lines? Like, the best ones are always improvised. OMG, AIs are like so cute. Are they? They won't be when they're coming for all of us. If Facebook's AIs are talking to each other, I don't know. Fact number 12. A single strand of spaghetti is called spaghetto. Fact number 13. Hershey's Kisses are named that after the kissing sound the deposited chocolate makes as it falls from the machine on the conveyor belt. Okay, I never would have thought of that because I just thought it just looked like a kiss or something. I don't know. Fact number 14. Princess Peach didn't move until 1988. Designers believed it was too complicated to make her a movable character. But why? She wears a dress, right? So she doesn't even need like a walking animation. Just make her like bounce or something. I don't know. Life is short. Injection sugar. Well, I suppose you can do that. Then your life will be even shorter. You can double down on it, sure. Fact number 15. To leave a party without telling anyone is called, in English, a French exit. In French, it's called a... I don't know, I'm going to read this. Here we go. Partir à l'anglaise. To leave, like the English. Well, I thought it was called an Irish exit, or like an Irish goodbye. At least that's how we call it here. Maybe it's because like it's New York and, you know, there's a lot of Irish people. Because we would say an Irish goodbye, you know, which I'm very good at. You know, you leave the party, don't even say anything, just sneak out the back, which I've done many, many times. An Irish goodbye. But, yeah, it's the same thing, but, you know. Fact number 16. By the way, welcome everyone that's joined. We're reading 1,000 interesting facts. We are on number 16. If you cut down a cactus in Arizona, you'll be penalized up to 25 years in jail. It is similar to cutting down a protected tree species. I like cacti. Cacti? Is that the plural? Yeah. It's cool is what I'm saying. Fact number 17. The Buddha, commonly depicted in statues and pictures, is a different person entirely. The real Buddha was actually incredibly skinny because of self-deprivation. In Colorado, in the United States, there is still an active volcano. It last erupted about the same time as the pyramids were being built in Egypt. The first movie ever to put out a motion picture soundtrack was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I wonder if I fall asleep, if I'll absorb all this information while I'm asleep. You know, Ben, I've thought of that, I've thought of like trying to like learn a language that way. You know, I remember one time I fell asleep to like this Japanese language course that was meant to, specifically it was like created with the purpose of you sleeping to it. But I don't remember shit. So I mean, I only did it once. But I you know, that is like something that people have been trying throughout the years. I don't know if it works, or if it's like a subconscious thing. Who knows? Fact number 20. If you point your car keys to your head, it increases the remote's signal range. I hear people yelling outside. Fact number 21. Fruit stickers are edible, though the same as any fruit. Washing prior to eating is recommended. The glue used for them is regulated by the FDA. I don't know why you would eat the stickers, but next time you have some fruit with a sticker, there you go. If you want to try it, we can. All right, Magnus, 1:36 in the morning in Norway. Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Norway's another place I want to visit, but I hope you have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time, my friend. Fact number 22. The scientific name for giant anteater, Myrmecophaga tridactyla. This means ant-eating with 3 fingers. Fact number 23. Astronaut is a compound word derived from the 2 ancient Greek words astro, meaning star, and naut, meaning sailor. So astronaut literally means star sailor. Fact number 24. I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done 1,000 facts. This might take like 7 hours at this point. The flashes of colored light you see when you rub your eyes are called phosphenes. 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 Fact number 25. At birth, a baby panda is smaller than a mouse. Fact number 26. Iceland does not have a railway system. Someone yelling Sabrina outside? It's like, use your phone. You have a phone. This isn't 1999. Send a text message. Call her. Anything. Don't yell Sabrina outside while I'm trying to record an ASMR video. They should know better. Fact number 27. The largest known prime number has 17,425,170 digits. The new prime number is 2 multiplied by itself 57,885,161 times minus 1. Fact number 28. Forrest Fenn, an art dealer and author, hid a treasure chest in the Rocky Mountains worth over $1 million. It still has not been found. The lead singer of The Offspring started attending school to achieve a doctorate in molecular biology. While still in the band, he graduated in May of 2017. You could always do it in parts if it gets too long. That is true. That is true. But I feel like I've committed with my thumbnail, you know? I'm just like, 1,000 facts, yeah. But we'll see how it goes, right? The world's largest grand piano was built by a 15-year-old in New Zealand. And there's an ambulance going by. Let's wait a moment, shall we? Nope. Okay, I think we're good. The piano is a little over 18 feet long and has 85 keys, 3 short of the standard 88. Fact number 31. The tongue is the only muscle in one's body that is attached from one end. Fact number 32. There is a company in Japan that has schools that teach you how to be funny. The first one opened in 1982. About 1,000 students take the course every year. So it's like a comedy school, basically, in a sense. Fact number 34. The Bagheera Kiplingi spider was discovered in the 1800s and is the only species of spider that has been classified as a vegetarian. I skipped 33, by the way. Fact 33 was, the Lego Group is the world's most powerful brand. There are more Lego minifigures than there are people on Earth. Fact number 35. There's a boss in Metal Gear Solid that can be defeated by not playing the game for a week or by changing the date. Fact number 36. The Roman-Persian Wars are the longest in history, lasting over 680 years. They began in 54 BC and ended in 628 AD. Interesting. Well, at least America is not the one known for the longest wars, if you catch my drift. Fact 37. Elvis was originally blonde. He started coloring his hair for an edgier look. Sometimes he would touch it up himself using shoe polish. Fact 38. If you translate Jesus from Hebrew to English, the correct translation is Joshua. The name Jesus comes from translating the name from Hebrew to Greek to Latin to English. Fact 39. Ed Sheeran bought a ticket to LA with no contracts. He was spotted by Jamie Foxx, who offered him the use of his recording studio and a bed in his Hollywood home for 6 weeks. Fact 40. German chocolate cake is named after an American baker by the name of Samuel German. It has no official affiliation with the country of Germany. 41. The first service animals were established in Germany during World War I. References to service animals date as far back as the mid-16th century. Fact 42. An 11-year-old girl proposed the name Pluto for Pluto after the Roman god of the underworld. 43. The voice actor of SpongeBob and the voice actor of Karen, Plankton's computer wife, have been married since 1995. 44. An Italian banker, Gilberto Baschiera, is considered a modern-day Robin Hood. Over the course of 7 years, he secretly diverted €1 million to poorer clients from the wealthy ones so they could qualify for loans. He made no profit and avoided jail in 2018 due to a plea bargain. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Imagine if there was a smaller soldier scenario with Lego minifigures. That's a weird apocalypse. That would be a weird apocalypse. Like an AI Lego, mini Lego soldiers controlled by AI. Fact 45. Octopuses and squids have beaks. The beak is made of keratin, and the same material that a bird's beak is made of. And our fingernails are actually made of. So that's pretty cool. 46. An estimated 50% of all gold mined on Earth came from a single plateau in South Africa, which is called Witwatersrand. 47. 75% of the world's diet is produced from just 12 plant and 5 different animal species. 48. The original Star Wars premiered on just 32 screens across the U.S. in 1977. This was to produce buzz as the release widened to more theaters. I don't know where I got world from. 49. The British government coined the slogan "Keep calm and carry on" during World War II in order to motivate citizens to stay strong. And that's funny because, check this out, look at my mug. it says exactly that. I just thought it was like a white girl thing. The more you know. Fact 50. Apple paid a couple $1.7 million for their plot of land, which was only worth $181,700. 51. Tirana, the capital of Albania, has a lot of things in common with other European capitals, except one. It's one of two capitals without a McDonald's. The second is Vatican City. 52. Sour Patch Kids are from the same manufacturers as Swedish Fish. The red Sour Patch Kids are the same candy as Swedish Fish, but with sour sugar. Fact 53. The largest Japanese population outside of Japan stands at 1.6 million people who live in Brazil. I used to work with a guy who was Brazilian, but lived in Brazil, but was Japanese from Japan, but grew up in Brazil. Never knew that was a thing. IKEA is an acronym which stands for Ingvar Kamprad Elmtard Agunyard, which is the founder's name. Farm where founder's name, farm where he grew up, and hometown. Okay. I thought that was just like his whole entire, like, name. 55. In 2009, Stephen Hawking held a reception for time travelers, but didn't publicize it until after. This way, only those who could time travel would be able to attend. Nobody else attended. That's big brain time right there. He's like, well, if they're time travelers, they'll know. They'll know. 56. Violin bows are commonly made from horse hair. 57. There are less than 30 ships in the Royal Canadian Navy, which are less than most third world countries. 58. Larry the Cable Guy's real name is Daniel Lawrence Whitney. His notable southern accent is fake. He was born and raised in the Midwest, not the South. The youngest pope in history. I'm just going to stop saying 59, 60, etc. because it's like, it's not necessary, I don't think. But if anyone wants to know, then simply, I wonder if I could leave this in the chat. If you want to know what number we're up to, just drop it in the chat. Nope. They won't even let me chat with my own audience in the chat box because I'm not signed in for some reason. Weird. But if anyone wants to know what fact we're up to, just let me know. The youngest pope in history was Pope Benedict the 11th, who was 11 years old at the time of the election. He's also the only person to have been the pope more than once. There were only 9 developers on the team for GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo 64. So they were like the old school indie developers, if you think about it, because that's a lot of indie devs have like less than 10 people that work for their company, and they can create some pretty cool games. Costa Coffee Company employs Gennaro Pelliccia as a coffee taster, who has had his tongue insured for £10 million since 2009. And yes, I read that correctly. I'm cultured. Johnny Cash took only 3 voice lessons before his teacher advised him to stop taking lessons and to never deviate from his natural voice. There is an island called Just Enough Room, where there's just enough room for a tree and a house. It doesn't sound that bad. Minus that you don't have any other resources, but sounds nice in theory. People who post their fitness routine on Facebook are more likely to have psychological problems. I would even say social media is the host of ushering in a whole range of psychological issues. We really don't. I mean, I can go on a whole rant about social media. I won't, but we really don't know what the impact of social media is going to be on people. You know, it's so new. Even though it's been around for over 10 years, it's still so new. We just don't know. Medieval chastity belts are a myth. A majority of examples now existing were made in the 18th and 19th century as jokes. Nowadays, millionaires with just $1 million aren't considered wealthy anymore by most Americans. Now, the typical American sees at least 2.4 million as wealthy. It's kind of a random number. They're like, 2.4 million. You know, 2.4 million. That's the one that's like wealthy. 2.4. In New York, though, it's like, you know, obviously New York attracts like billionaires. So $1 million, if you're a millionaire in New York, it's like a drop in the bucket, you know, because everything's so freaking expensive. So I feel that one. The social media thing, yeah. I don't know. I have a lot of like controversial opinions on social media. Not the place to talk about it though. Hanna-Barbera pitched the Flintstones to networks for 8 weeks before it was finally picked up. It became the first ever animated show to air during prime time. And welcome to everyone that has joined recently. Today we're reading 1,000 interesting facts. So, thank you for joining. If this is your first time, welcome. Have a seat, grab some coffee, some water, some juice, milk, whatever you like. And relax. You don't have to interact if you don't want to. Just, you know, chill out, put me on in the background, do your chores, whatever you want to do. Whatever you need, whatever you want. That's why I'm here. There is a company that sells mirrors that make people look 10 pounds thinner. Overall, the mirrors have contributed to 54% of total sales for retailers that use it. It's an interesting concept for a mirror, I would say. There's no period in Dr. Pepper. It was removed because the old logo font made it look like D.I. Pepper. Okay. I'm confused by that one, but we'll move on. There is an underwater version of rugby, unsurprisingly, called underwater rugby. That's actually pretty awesome. Like, I would be down for that. That sounds pretty cool. It's a contact sport between two teams of 6 competing underwater in a pool to score goals while freediving. Standing around burns calories. On average, a 150-pound person burns 114 calories per hour while standing and doing nothing. Yeah, and also, like, if you're sitting, you just burn calories throughout the day in general. But like, particularly, the reason why like HIIT workouts, hyper intensive training workouts, are good because it burns a lot of calories after the fact. Another fun fact, this is fun facts with me, Randall. If you have more muscle, you burn more calories because it takes energy to maintain that muscle on your body. That's why you have to like continuously work out to keep it, otherwise it ends up disappearing. So, although GPS is free for the world to use, it costs $2 million per day to operate. The money comes from American tax revenue. In World War II, Germany tried to collapse the British economy by dropping millions of counterfeit bills all over London. That's just, I mean, I'm not really surprised given, the state of Germany at that time, but that's just petty at that point, You're already dropping bombs on the country. What more do you want? Because at this point, they were winning, weren't they? Until America got involved. So it's like you're just being douchebags at that point. The human eye is so sensitive that if the earth were flat, which it isn't, and it was a dark night, a candle's flame could be seen from 30 miles away. When Space Invaders was created, Tomohiro Nishikado left in the lag caused by more invaders on the screen in order to create greater difficulty in the games. The color red doesn't really make bulls angry. They're colorblind, actually. 65% of autistic kids are left-handed, and only 10% of people in general are left-handed. In 2007, Scotland spent 125,000 pounds devising a new national slogan. The winning entry was "Welcome to Scotland." Until 2016, the Happy Birthday song was not for public use, meaning prior to 2016, the song was copyrighted. And you had to pay a license to use it. Yeah, that was a thing for a little bit. They had to come up with all these like weird remixes to Happy Birthday, which was strange. By the way, I don't think I'm getting lag on my end, but if I am, anyone has any lag issues, let me know. I'm looking at my performance and I don't see any dropped frames, so I think we're good, but I've been having some weird stream issues, mostly on Twitch, but just in case, hopefully, there's no problems. When mice live in the wild, they typically only live for about 6 months. Oh, this guy's cute. This is mostly due to the fact that they're a good source of food for other animals. Yeah, I would have surmised that. However, in a controlled environment, like being kept as a pet, they can live up to 2 years. Okay, well, that's good. Get a little bit longer of a lifespan there. There's a punctuation mark used to signify irony or sarcasm that looks like a backwards question mark. I didn't know that was a thing. I'm gonna start using that. I don't know how to use a backwards question mark unless I copy and paste that, but yeah, that could be fun. People might just think I'm like a weird like troll or something, but might as well try it, right? Lettuce is a member of the sunflower family. Yeah. Researchers have found that flossing your teeth can help your memory. Flossing prevents gum disease, which prevents stiff blood vessels, which causes memory issues. Which reminds me, I have to buy floss. I ran out like yesterday. And there's the ice cream truck. Why? It is 8 p.m. No one's buying ice cream now. A cluster of bananas is called a hand. Along that theme, a single banana is called a finger. Hope I'm enjoying the background music, I guess. That's the thing about streaming, right? I can't cut that out like I would do in a normal video. So hello, Hector. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everything was good. We're reading 1,000 interesting facts. Thank you for joining. Hope you've had a good day. And yeah, let's relax and have a good time. Enjoy the ice cream truck music. It's almost finished, hopefully. A cluster of bananas is called a hand. Along that theme, a single banana is called a finger. The Hobbit has been published in 2 editions. In the first edition, Gollum willingly bet on his ring in the riddle game. For nearly 60 years, Texas didn't have an official state flag between 1879 and 1933. During that time, the Lone Star flag was active, but the unofficial flag. A wildlife technician, Richard Thomas, took the famous tongue twister, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood, and calculated a rough estimate of what the answer would actually be. It came out to be 700 pounds. All right, Ben, have a great night. night. Enjoy your sleep. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next time, my friend. Bye. Red Solo cups are a common souvenir to bring back from the United States. The novelty comes from the cups being used in many party scenes in movies. Swedish meatballs originated from a recipe King Charles XII brought back from Turkey in the early 1800s. Okay, I think the ice cream truck's gone. I used to take that song and remix it, and I would sing kind of like, you don't know where my hands have been, but you still eat my ice cream. Sandra, thank you for the sub. Welcome to my channel. It was popped up behind me for some reason. I don't know why. I have to fix that. But welcome. Thank you for joining. Saint Lucia is the only country in the world named after a woman. The country was named after Saint Lucy of Syracuse by the French. Those cute furry bits inside a cat's ears are called ear furnishings. They ensure that dirt doesn't go inside and also helps them to hear well. Oh, well, that's adorable. Scientists discovered sharks that are living in an active underwater volcano. Divers cannot investigate because they would get burns from the acidity and the heat. There are times when Pluto is closer to the Sun than Neptune. One of these timelines was from 1979 to 1999. There is a town in Nebraska called Minowi, with a population of 1. The only resident is a woman who is the mayor, bartender, and librarian. She gets shit done. The Ethiopian calendar is 7.5 years behind the Gregorian calendar due to the fact that it has 13 months. In 1994, the company that had a patent on GIFs tried to charge a fee for using GIFs. The PNG was invented as an alternative and the company backed down. Well, that's good. It's one instance of competition keeping things from getting out of control, you know. China is spending $3 billion to build panda-shaped solar farms in order to get more young people interested in renewable energy. Mercury and Venus are the only 2 planets in our solar system that do not have any moons. The average American child is given $3.70 per tooth that falls out. I'm pretty sure my mom would give me like $1. I don't remember though. I did not grow up in an American household, so like we didn't follow certain customs that traditional American kids would, you know. My parents tried, but like there were things they just didn't know because, they're not American. So to properly write adjectives in order, you would list them by amount. Value, size, temperature, age, shape, color, origin, and material. Let me go to the next page here. The world's first motel is in San Luis Obispo, which was built in 1925. When it opened, it cost $1.25 for a 2-room bungalow with a kitchen and a private adjoining garage. Scotland was one of the few countries able to hold off being conquered by the Romans in the 1st century AD. Yeah, because they're running around with their swords and their kilts and shit. Like, you don't want to mess around with people like that, you know what I mean? I Will Always Love You was originally written and recorded in 1973 by Dolly Parton. It was written as a farewell to her mentor of 7 years. Opposites attract is a common myth. People are actually attracted to people who look like family members or those with a similar personality type. I don't know about the family members part. That's a little strange, but I do think that, like, most of the time we do look for people similar to us. I guess opposites attract can be a thing, but I don't know. I think back on all the girls that I've liked, and it has been a mishmash, to be honest. Some have not had a lot in common with me. Some have been like a gamer and stuff, which I am. Others not so much. So it's like, I guess it depends, right? It's also like, as I get older, I look for different things in a partner. Things that are more important than just like, does she like video games? It's like, it's nice if she does, but it's not required. I more care about, is she a good person? Is she kind? Is she smart? Is she fun to talk to? Stuff like that. So I guess it just depends on your individual goals for a relationship. Llamas can be used as guards against coyote attacks on sheep herds. Studies have proven that just one guard llama is an effective protector and can even kill the attacking coyotes. The unique smell of rain actually comes from plant oils, bacteria, and ozone. Vanilla flavoring is sometimes made with the urine of beavers. So that's nice. Beaver piss, in other words. If you heat up a magnet, if you watching right now heat up a magnet, it's going to lose its magnetism. So just so you know, it's important that you know that. Hello, Daniel. Daniel says, great job, gentlemen. Thank you, sir. I tip my hat to you. The most expensive virtual object is Club Never Die in the Entropia universe. Virtual object, which is worth $635,000. It was originally bought at $10,000. I have no idea what that sentence even said, I'll be honest with you. Maybe someone can decode that, but to me that meant nothing. Cruise ships have morgues that can store up to 10 bodies at once. The average amount of people that die on cruise ships per year is 200. Birds are the closest living relatives of crocodilians, as well as the descendants of extinct dinosaurs with feathers. This makes them the only surviving dinosaurs. Yeah, dinosaurs, I've always maintained, dinosaurs are cool. Maybe we want to give them another shot, you know? They got taken out prematurely, I think. Small as they may be, ladybugs have a unique smell that humans are incredibly sensitive to. And I know that. Interesting. During World War II, a U.S. naval destroyer won a battle against the Japanese submarine by throwing potatoes at them. The Japanese thought they were grenades. Very sneaky, very sneaky. The Marshall Mathers Foundation, M&M, for at-risk and disadvantaged youth was founded by Eminem. Yes. That's good. Good on him. I didn't know that actually, but that's cool, given how he grew up and stuff. A man with severe OCD and a phobia of germs attempted to commit suicide with a gun to his head. Instead of killing him, the bullet eliminated his mental illness without any other damage. That was like an emotional roller coaster in the span of 10 seconds. I don't know what you guys think, but that took me on a ride there. Hector says, curious fact, it's relaxing when you repeat sentences. For instance, when you said, if you heats up a magnet 3 times, repeating words is one of my favorite triggers. I agree, it's one of mine too. I don't know why it works from an ASMR standpoint, but I'll give you an example, right? Since 1955, since 1955, since 1955, since 1955, since 1955, 55, 55, 55, 55, since 1955, 50% of the population of Niger is consistently under 16 years old. The total population is 21,600,000. 600,000. 600,000. 600,000. 600,000. I don't know why it works, but it does. There's a channel, by the way. I'm gonna plug a channel because why not? She's way more popular than me, of course, but she makes great videos. I think, I don't remember the exact name. I think it's Alyssa ASMR, something like that. She makes a lot of those like where she repeats sentences and stuff. And I listen to ASMR to sleep, to relax. There's a lot of different creators I like, but she's the best person I go to if I want actual like ASMR like tingles, because of the repetition that you just mentioned. So if you want another like ASMR creator, she's a really good one. The author of Mary Had a Little Lamb, Sarah Josepha Hale, is the most responsible for the creation of Thanksgiving being a national holiday. The oldest unopened bottle of wine was found in a Roman tomb that is over 1,650 years old. Chicken Run is the highest grossing stop-motion animated film, even beating The Nightmare Before Christmas. No problem, Hector. Anytime at all. Chicken Run is the highest grossing stop-motion animated film, even beating The Nightmare Before Christmas. Shh, be quiet. Nobody knows how the Academy Awards came to be referred to as the Oscars. The earliest mention was 1932 and was made official in 1939. More tornadoes occur in the United Kingdom per square mile than any other country in the world. Owners of personalized license plates in Uganda are facing a tax increase of over 300%, which will raise the tax from $1,498 to $5,992. Well, that sucks. Popularized by the Shakespeare play. Many people think Julius Caesar's last words were, "Are you Brutus?" In reality, he said, "You too, my child?" Question mark. All right, Hector. Thanks for joining. And I hope you have a good night, my friend. I'll see you next time. Bye. Times Square was originally called Longarcree Square until it was renamed in 1904 after the New York Times moved its headquarters to the newly built Times building. Good move, because that is a hard word to say, Longarcree. I've passed by the New York Times headquarters many times as well, because I used to like pass by Times Square on my way home from work. Daniel Craig was an anonymous stormtrooper in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Originally, he denied the cameo, and he claimed he wouldn't bother being an extra in a movie. But I guess he changed his mind. Queen Elizabeth has a personal net worth of $425 million. That includes the $65 million Sandringham House and $140 million Balmoral Castle. Although there is currently no drug proven to make someone tell the truth, some countries like Russia, Canada, and India use truth serums. Okay. Canada, that's a weird one to try that. I'm glad you like the facts, Rocco. Am I saying that right? We've got plenty more to go as well. Only primates, humans, and opossums have opposable thumbs. Out of these, the possum is the only one with no thumbnail. One of the World Trade Centers was built to be 1,776 feet tall, on purpose to reference the year the Declaration of Independence was signed. The word kimono literally means a thing to wear. Ki is wear, and mono is thing. Kimono. There is a statue of Tesla in Silicon Valley that radiates free Wi-Fi. It was done as an homage to his vision for wireless communication. There is a lot of noise tonight, huh? Drivers are going home, I suppose, because it's 8 p.m. It snows metal on planet Venus. There are 2 types that have been found, galena and bismuthinite. Bismuthinite. That's a tongue twister. Bismuthinite. Now, how's that for a trigger word? Tic Tacs got their name from the sound they make when they are tossed around in their container. Tic tac, tic tac, tic tac, tic tac, tic tac, tic tac. Only official members of federally accepted Native American tribes may legally possess or collect eagle feathers. If a normal citizen has one, it is illegal. By the time they have been retired for 2 years, 78% of former NFL players have gone bankrupt or are under financial stress because of joblessness or divorce. 500 seeds of 5 different types of seeds were taken into orbit around the moon and later planted around the US, as well as a few countries. They were called moon trees. In order to protest the high tariffs enforced by a UK censorship board, a filmmaker sent in a 10-hour movie of white paint drying. They had to watch the entire film. That's the most baller thing I can ever think of. Like, that's pretty badass. The popular Laughing My Ass Off group who created the viral hit party rock anthem, is made up of an uncle-nephew duo. 50% of apartments in Los Angeles don't come with a fridge. This is legal, as fridges are considered an amenity, and therefore landlords are not required to provide one. That's interesting. In New York, it's required, as like if you move into an apartment building, the landlord has to provide you with a fridge and a stove. So that's an interesting difference there. Let me take a sip of water to refresh my palate. Norway has a 25-year statute of limitation on murder. This means if the murder happened more than 25 years ago, they cannot be charged. That's an interesting one. I'm not so sure about that one, but several of the facts on Snapple caps have been found to be outdated, incorrect, or exaggerated. Hopefully that wasn't too distracting. Both of the drummers from Queen and Duran Duran had the same name, Roger Taylor. There is a company in the UK that offers being hungover as a valid reason for calling off work. They are allotted for hungover days per year. I think that's a valid reason. In the majority of blind people in the US and UK cannot read Braille. Statistically, less than 1% of blind in the UK and under 10% in the US. I've always wondered, like, how many people can actually read Braille, because you'd have to learn, and I can't imagine it's easy. It's not just humans who are right or left-handed. Most female cats prefer using their right paw, and males are more likely to be left-pawed. Over 290 people have died climbing Mount Everest since 1922. Most deaths occur because of avalanches, and not all bodies have been recovered. There are only 2 countries in the world that have the color purple in their flags: Nicaragua and Dominicana. Dominicana. I just kind of ran with that one, didn't I? A bolt of lightning can reach 53,540 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun, which is 10,340 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry to all my Celsius friends, but it's not listed here. There is a village in Russia called Svokra, where every resident can tightrope walk. It's a tradition that dates back over 100 years, but no one knows how it started. When Shakira was in 2nd grade, she was rejected by the school choir because her vibrato was too strong. The music teacher told her that she sounded like a goat. Interesting. 4 of the top 7 highest grossing films of all time were released in 2015. Avengers, Age of Ultron, Fast and Furious 7, Jurassic World, and Star Wars, The Force Awakens. 4 Nile crocodiles have been found in Florida. They are the 2nd largest crocodile and are more dangerous than the native crocodiles and alligators in Florida. Julius Caesar's only son, Caesarion, was the last pharaoh of Egypt. Even though Cleopatra swears he is Caesar's son, Caesar never officially acknowledged him. The quietest room in the world in Minnesota is measured in negative decibels. So quiet that you can hear your own heartbeat and your bones moving. That sounds very ominous, but also I can't help but feel like that might be a really good video for ASMR, or a very good environment for ASMR. Who knows, right? Sandoku is a Japanese word for the habit of buying too many books, letting them pile up in your house, and never reading them. The Guinness World Record for the time longest spent searching for the Loch Ness monster is held by Stephen Feltham, who camped at Loch Ness for 25 years. I'm going to assume he never found the Loch Ness monster, though. Brain fibers lose 10% of their total length every decade. They can shrink even more so under acute stress. Stress is bad in general, I mean, it's so hard to avoid stress because sometimes it just comes with, with the things that we're experiencing in life. But doing things to offset that is definitely helpful, like meditation, for instance, which I haven't done in a while, so I should probably get back to it. Chewing gum boosts mental proficiency and is considered a better test aid than caffeine, but nobody really knows why. I've never tried that when I was in college, actually. It's too late now. I graduated, but it's interesting. I can ask my sister to try it, see if it works. Maybe it works, Per capita, the happiest countries in the world also rank highest in terms of consumers of antidepressants. That's interesting. I mean, I think one of the happiest countries is Norway, right? Norway, the Scandinavian countries are amongst the happiest in the world. At least that's what I read from the Consumer Happiness Index report. Even though Irish is the official language of Ireland, Polish is more widely spoken. That's interesting. Yeah, it's most people in Ireland, I imagine at this point, they just speak English. Whether or not they're, traditional Irish people are happy about that, that's another question, but there's a bar in Yukon that serves a sourdough cocktail. It consists of a shot of whiskey with a human toe floating in the glass. An estimated 60,000 people have had it. Now, is this a real toe or a fake one? That's my question. They're not really specifying. They're not specifying, and I don't know how to feel about that. The Stockholm archipelago has more islands than the Pacific Ocean at around 30,000. Pope Francis has been given many extravagant gifts over the years, and one of them was a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. That's pretty awesome. However, rather than keeping it for his own pleasure and adventures, he sold it off and used the money to benefit homeless people. That is something that you would expect the Pope to do, so that's good. In Japan, Domino's started testing pizza delivery via reindeer in 2016. That's pretty cool. I thought they were going to say something like, in Japan, they started testing weird, pizza flavors, which I guess they could do. Kit Kat flavored pizza, I don't know, something like that. The motto on the United Kingdom's royal coat of arms is in French. The motto is Dieu et mon droit, which means God and my right. Man, the French are everywhere, huh? They just have so much influence. Did you know, like, another random fact, a lot of the reason why, like, Americans pronounce certain words differently from people from England is because we were influenced by the French. A lot of French people coming over to the US and stuff. That's why, like, when we say herb instead of herb, even though there's an H in the word, it's because, like, French people, there's a lot of French chefs in the US, and they they would say herb, and so Americans started picking that up, and we kind of just ran with it. Things like that. This kind of shows how, like, the English language started to kind of change and things of that nature. But that's the case for every country, right? Like Canada, Australia, all of these English-speaking countries all kind of put their own spin on it as they are further and further removed from their original, like, British English history. So, just fun little aside there. The average household income of the top 1% in the United States is $1,260,508 per year. Oh boy, I wish I had that much, right? Wouldn't we all love to have that much? Disney sold the streaming right for the original Star Wars films in 2016 to Turner until 2024. Disney has since decided to start a streaming service and has tried asking for the rights back, but Turner refuses every time. Gaming-related accidents increased by 26.5% during the first 5 months of Pokemon Go being released. This included 2 deaths and $25.5 million in damages. Helen Keller was related to Robert E. Lee. Her paternal grandmother was second cousins with him. During the 1908 Olympics in London, the Russians showed up 12 days later due to the fact that they were using the Julian calendar instead of the Gregorian calendar. Non-violent attempts to escape Mexican prisons are not punished because it's human nature to want freedom. That's pretty interesting. The line, born and raised in South Detroit, in Journeys Don't Stop Believin', actually refers to Canada, not Michigan. I never knew that myself. That's pretty cool. Canada, once again, stealing the spotlight. On one slow news day on April 18th, 1930, a BBC radio announcer blatantly said, "There is no news." I kind of wish news, that's how news anchors would operate today. Just be like, what? We don't have any news. Let's not try to grasp at straws here. If you cut a starfish, it won't bleed. It doesn't have blood. Rather, they circulate nutrients by using seawater in their vascular system. 12% of the world's total languages are found in Papua New Guinea, which has over 820 indigenous languages. There are more languages on this island than in any other country. The hottest temperature ever recorded in Washington State was at Ice Harbor Dam at 118 degrees Fahrenheit, 47.8 degrees Celsius on August 5th, 1961. In efforts to undercut the Dreamcast's sales of the upcoming Sega release, Sony announced the PlayStation 2 and exaggerated its performance abilities. Nepal has the most mathematical flag in the world. It even has an article in its constitution that details the steps of drawing the flag. Mount Rushmore costs less than $1 million to construct. Cost less. It took 14 years to build, from 1927 to 1941, and took 400 workers. Samsung means 3 stars in Korean. This was chosen by the founder because he wanted the company to be powerful and everlasting, like the stars in the sky. On average, 46.1% of Americans have less than $10,000 in assets when they die. Well, good news is they don't need it anymore, am I right? While shedding, geckos will eat their skin to prevent predators from finding and eating them more easily. Bees actually have knees. The expression from the fact that they store large build-ups of pollen in hairy baskets on their knees. The bee's knees. Between North and South Korea lies 155 miles of no man's land where hundreds of rare animal species thrive. While watching a merry-go-round from a bench in Griffith Park, Los Angeles, Walt Disney was struck with inspiration for the creation of Disneyland. There is a Scottish tartan designed for Mars exploration. It was officially registered in 2016 to be worn during Mars science exploration and outreach activities. Santa Claus was issued a pilot's license from the US government in 1927. They also gave him airway maps and promised to keep the runway lights on. When you exercise, the burned fat metabolizes to become carbon dioxide, water, and energy, meaning you exhale the fat that you lose. The word velociraptor comes from the Latin words velox, which means swift, and raptor, which means robber, literally speedy robber. The largest stadium in the world is the Rungwado 1st of May Stadium in North Korea. It can hold up to 114,000 spectators. It covers 51 acres and is 197 feet tall. Polar bears often hunt walruses by simply charging at a group of them and eating the ones that were crushed or wounded in mass panic to escape. Direct attacks are rare. The group of spikes at the end of the stegosaurid tails are called the thagomizer. Thagomizer? I can just picture like a professional wrestler calling himself that, you know? Just being like, I am the thagomizer. They had no distinct name until the term was coined in 1982 by a cartoonist. There is a correlation between pulling an all-nighter and snapping out of depression. This is because the brain gets more active the longer it goes without sleep. That explains why I'm so hyper. I could go for some sleep right now. Instead, I'm, doing my thing. Adult cats only meow at humans, not other cats. Kittens meow to their mother, but once they get older, cats no longer meow to other cats. And that's because they simply do it to us to manipulate us. And we're just like, oh, that's so cute. And damn it if it isn't. When shuffling a deck of cards, the number of possible arrangements is approximately 8 by 10 to the 67th power. That's more than the number of stars in the observable universe. There is a United Arab Emirates territory inside an Oman's territory that is itself inside the United Arab Emirates country. It's called Mata Village. Oh, the tongue twister, wasn't it? Disappointment Island is an uninhabited island in New Zealand. Over 65,000 pairs of white albatross live there. In 1869, a steel tanker crashed on the island, which killed 68 people, leaving the 15 survivors waiting 18 months to be rescued. In 1907, another ship ended up crashing there, and 12 men drowned. During the entire run of Gilligan's Island, it was never revealed if Gilligan was his first or last name. When Jorge Garcia first got the part on Lost as Hurley, he lost a total of 30 pounds in weight before filming started. Isn't that usually the case for most actors? They have to lose a butt ton of weight and start working out. Video games have been found to be more effective at battling depression than therapy. Damn it if that isn't true. Video games are great. They get such a bad rap because of the media. It's all about moderation. You know, like with anything in life, you have to moderate. It's that simple. Bi-weekly has two different definitions. Twice a week or once every 2 weeks. Yeah, I get confused every time I start a new job and they say the paycheck is bi-weekly. I'm like, but wait, what do they mean? This or that? So I relate to this one quite a bit. The Mona Lisa was stolen from the Louvre in 1911, which drew more visitors to see the empty space than the actual painting. There is an insurance policy issued against alien abduction. Around 50,000 policies have been sold, mainly to the residents of the US and England. It's good to be prepared, I suppose. Volvo invented the 3-point seatbelt, then gave the invention away for free. They decided it was too important of an invention to keep themselves. In 2005, Connecticut was accidentally issued an emergency alert to evacuate the entire estate. Only about 1% of the people actually tried to leave. I don't know if everyone else was like, I'll take my chances, or if they were just like, nah, this sounds like BS. That's hilarious. It's like, nope, I'll take my damn chances. They think I'm gonna leave? Hell no. I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna fight. I don't know why I'm using that accent for Connecticut, but I thought it was funny. More than likely, it's like, I'm not going to leave. That's my Connecticut accent. An 18-year-old with dwarfism played the 8-year-old Grinch in The Grinch. He passed away 2 years after the film was released. Oh, I didn't know that. The Grinch was that's one of my favorite Christmas movies. I just thought it was CGI. I had no idea it was an actual person. I guess this might have been before CGI was wildly adopted, right? Yeah. Rebecca Felton was the first woman to ever serve for the United States Senate, but she only served for 1 day. Webster's dictionary accidentally had a word that didn't exist in it for 5 years. Dord. Dord. Amber-colored rear turn signals are statistically proven to reduce collisions by 28%. I guess that could be historically. Russell, a guide dog, led her blind owner down 78 flights of stairs. During 9/11, the descent took about an hour and they both safely made it out. Dogs are awesome, aren't they? Dogs are just magnificent creatures who we do not deserve. It is thought by Russians that eating ice cream will keep you warm. That is the most Russian thing. It is cold. So what? Eat some ice cream. It will warm you up. That's the most Russian thing you could possibly do. And Nico, you're cold? Eat some ice cream. Don't be baby. Somebody hid an episode of South Park inside Tiger Woods 99 as an Easter egg, causing EA to do a massive recall. Madagascar once was a stomping ground for lemurs, which were the size of today's gorillas. Underneath the streets of Beijing, there are over 1 million people who live in nuclear bunkers. The full name of the famous Chuck E. Cheese's mouse is Charles Entertainment Cheese. The American roulette wheel is different from the European wheel. The American one has 2 green spaces, while the European one only has the 1. Although in both, if you add up all the numbers on the roulette wheel, you'll get 666. Isn't that ominous? The day after Thanksgiving is called Brown Friday by plumbers in America because it is their busiest day of the year. Brown Friday. That's hilarious. Poop joke. The wife of Anthony Perkins. The original Norman Bates Barry Berenson died as a result of being a passenger on one of the 9/11 planes. The thumbs up sign is believed to have originated from Chinese pilots. It was used to communicate with the ground crew before takeoff. In Toy Story 2, in the scene where Buzz gives a speech in front of the American flag, the flag was edited to be a globe for release in non-American countries. The tallest mountain in our solar system, Olympic Mons, is 3 times taller than Mount Everest. Batman and Predator exist in the same fictional universe. Since 1991, they have been featured together in 3 comic books. A study from Harvard University finds that having no friends can be just as deadly as smoking. Both affects level of blood clotting protein. In South Dakota, you can get a driver's permit at age 14 with parental consent. Once you turn 16, you get your license. The Backpack Kid's real name is Russell Horning. In 2017, Adidas sold over 1 million pairs of shoes made from recycled ocean plastic, each pair taking 11 plastic bottles to make. The British pound is the world's oldest currency still in use. At 1200 years old, the pound has been an identity as a symbol of British sovereignty. The world's smallest mammal, a bumblebee bat, weighs about the same as a US dime. Native to Myanmar and Thailand, these bats are endangered. As of December 2018, the Itchy and Scratchy show that takes place within The Simpsons has 107 episodes. Will Smith owed $2 million to the IRS and almost went bankrupt just before he signed the contract for The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The Great Pyramid of Giza actually has just 4 sides. English is not native to the British Isles. It was brought to Britain in the mid-5th to 7th centuries by German, Danish, and Dutch settlers. This I did not know. This was cool. When we're born, the only innate fears we have are the fear of falling and the fear of loud sounds. All other fears are learned. In Korea, there is a breed of dog called a sapsili, which was originally thought to banish ghosts and evil spirits. Qantas Airways once powered an interstate flight on cooking oil. This has marked in Australia's first commercial flight using sustainably derived biofuel. Berries are simple fruits stemming from one flower. This means that pineapples, banana, watermelon, pumpkins, and avocados are berries. One horse can have approximately 15 horsepower. Horsepower is about 746 watts. The term was coined in the late 18th century. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is tilted because of the soft soil that it's built on, which has also protected it from at least 4 powerful earthquakes. All the paint on the Eiffel Tower weighs the same as 10 elephants. It gets repainted every 7 years without closing to the public. All new FBI special agents and intelligence analysts are required to visit the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. While dinosaurs roamed the Earth, they lived on every continent, including Antarctica. I always have a hard time saying that. The blue whale's heart is the size of a VW Beetle and weighs up to 1,000 pounds or 453 kilograms. One of the most widely used symbols for medical assistance is actually the Swiss flag, and not a medical symbol. Until 2007, slavery was legal in Mauritania. Even still, 1 to 4% of the population is still living as slaves. Never even heard of that place, actually. A man named Ronald McDonald was robbed. Not robbed. A man named Ronald McDonald robbed a Wendy's in 2005. That's pretty funny. He's like, oh, fuck Wendy's. McDonald's for life. The longest unbroken alliance in world history is between England and Portugal. It has lasted since 1386 and still stands today. Before finally being accepted, J.K. Rowling's original Harry Potter pitch was rejected by 12 publishers. The Japanese term for a shotgun wedding is dekichata kakon, which literally translates to, oops, we did it, marriage. Garlic is known to attract leeches. In 1992, a shipping crate containing 28,000 rubber duckies fell overboard. They washed up around the world for the next 20 years. After the release of the 1996 film Scream, which involved an anonymous killer calling and murdering his victims, caller ID usage tripled in the United States. Aeroflot Flight 593 crashed because the pilot let his kids fly the plane, who unknowingly disengaged the autopilot function. The crash killed everyone on board. It takes Uranus 84 years to orbit the sun at once. A 26-sided shape is known as rhombicubo catahedron. I think I got that right. Mob boss Vincent Giganti used to wander around New York in his bathrobe to convince the police he was insane and avoid capture. That is a very mob boss thing to do. The military has used silly string to detect tripwires in Iraq. Before entering a room, they can squirt it inside, and if it hangs in the air, it might have revealed a wire. By applying even pressure on an egg, it is nearly impossible to break the shell by squeezing it. Even pressure. Interesting. So far, 2 diseases have successfully been eradicated: smallpox and rinderpest. The last case of smallpox was in 1977, and the last case of rinderpest was in 2001. A recently discovered deep-sea snail, the scaly-foot gastropod, has a shell that is impressively developed, so much so that the U.S. military is trying to use its design to inspire defensive layers in military armor. There are over 6,000 known species of grass. The total weight of all air on Earth is 11 quintillion pounds. Time anxiety occurs in a person when they are perpetually afraid of being late or of others being late. Ant queens can live up to 30 years. In 2014, Princeton researchers determined that Facebook would lose 80% of its users by 2017. Orlando Bloom has swinophobia, which is a fear of pigs. 8 of the 10 largest statues in the world are of Buddhas. Meghan Trainor has nyctophobia, which is a huge fear of the dark. Garrett McNamara holds the record for the largest wave ever surfed, set in 2011 in Nazaré, Portugal. The wave was 78 feet tall. The logo on the Red Bull cans are not cattle, but a type of bovine called a gar. G-A-U-R, gar. In Bruges, Belgium, there are an underground pipeline that runs 2 miles to transfer beer from a brewery to the bottling plants. The collective group tigers is called a conspiracy. The first Primark store in Dublin opened in Dublin in June 1969 under the name Pennies. Ron Swanson's character on Parks and Recreation is based on a real person, a woman who works in a high bureaucratic position who is also anti-government. Captive tigers in the US alone outnumber the amount of wild tigers worldwide. The 1831 London Bridge was sold in 1962 when it needed to be replaced. It was bought by Lake Havasu City, Arizona, to help tourism. Scrappy-Doo, wildly considered to be one of the most hated characters in fiction, has not appeared in an animated Scooby-Doo production since 1988 due to audience backlash. I like how I want to meet people that were like so passionate and they're just like, I will tell you about Scrappy-Doo. Fuck that guy. I hate him. The first X-rated animated movie was Fritz the Cat. It is still the most successful independent animated feature to date. Roughly 33% of cats are not affected by catnip. The euphoric reaction commonly associated with catnip is hereditary. Facebook will track and record nearly everything you do if you browse the web while logged into your Facebook account. This is why you always go incognito, my friends. Incognito is the way to go. So you can, avoid doing that. Avoid being tracked by Facebook and Google as well. Google will do that too. So let me just check my frames here, make sure everything's good. My stream quality is good. Cool. Bubble wrap was originally invented to be wallpaper. The creators tried to make plastic wallpaper with a paper backing, but it came out with plastic backing. The longest cricket test match lasted over 12 days between England and South Africa. It only ended because the English team would have missed their boat home. MIT, often cited as one of the world's most prestigious universities, puts almost all of its course materials online for everyone to access for free. I actually didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Albert Einstein had mastered calculus by the tender age of 15. Madagascar got its name when Marco Polo misspelled it. The name stuck, and the island was christened to the name in 1500. Tom Hanks had an asteroid named after him, which was called 12818 Tom Hanks. The number of stars on the EU flag don't represent anything. 12 stars were chosen as a number with no political association and as a symbol of unity. High heels are nothing new to the world. In the 18th century, they were fashionable, even for children. Elephants think people are cute, the same way people think puppies or kittens are cute. Oh, that's adorable. I had no idea. That's very cute, actually. That in of itself is key. Cats, which have blue eyes for the duration of their lives, are likely to be deaf. The manager of Guinness started the Guinness Book of World Records when he got annoyed that he couldn't find out what the fastest game bird was ever recorded. Okay. That sentence was kind of strange. Barry Manilow wrote many famous jingles for companies like McDonald's, State Farm, and Band-Aids. One of the smartest bird species is the magpie. They can even recognize themselves in mirrors. In order to keep Nazis away, a Polish doctor faked a typhus outbreak. This strategy saved 8,000 people. That's smart. That's really smart. The atomic number of zinc is 30. The tall chef's hat is called a toque. There's very little evidence the TSA has ever stopped a terrorist or found a real bomb. When tested. They failed to find fake weapons and bombs 95% of the time. In the United States, each person owns an average of 7 pairs of blue jeans. That's one for every day of the week. That's the idea. Whenever Charles Dickens was away from home, he would always realign the bed he was sleeping in to face northwards, as he felt that this fostered and unlocked his creativity. The Shawn Mendes EP reached #1 on iTunes in 37 minutes. Since 1990, the United States has added more acres of forest than it has lost, which was almost 20 million new acres of forest land added in the last 2 decades. There is a liquid that you can breathe in called perfluorohexane. Animals can be submerged in a bath of perfluorohexane without drowning. Feeding curry to a sheep reduces the amount of methane in its farts by up to 40%. And there goes the ice cream truck again. Bro, it's 9 p.m. No one wants to eat your ice cream, sir. No one wants your ice cream. Nobody. This guy's desperate. During a conversation, each speaker's turn averages 2 seconds, and the pause in between only 200 milliseconds. That figure is nearly universal. Cold showers have more health benefits than hot or warm showers. These include improving circulation, stimulating weight loss, and easing depression. Despite being landlocked, Mongolia has a navy consisting of 7 men and 1 vessel, the Sukbatar 3, stationed on Lake Kvasgal. That was hard to say. During the Second World War, German tank drivers would drive their vehicles over camel droppings, thinking it would bring them good luck. I don't think it worked. In Alabama, it is illegal to participate in shooting, hunting, gaming, card playing, or racing on Sundays. The fine ranges from $10 to $100. How are they going to catch someone gaming? Do they mean like, in a casino or something? Originally, bumper cars were not supposed to hit each other. Drivers were actually supposed to avoid crashing in spite of chaotic driving. The first company to patent a bumper car was in 1920, named Dodgem. A woman was elected to the House of Representatives 4 years before women even won the right to vote. In the Netherlands version of Sesame Street, instead of Big Bird, they have a blue bird named Pino. He was later established as Big Bird's cousin. The full Bible has been translated into over 3,000 languages. Among those fictional languages like Elvish, Klingon, and Navi. The voice of Stargazer in Mass Effect 3 was done by Buzz Aldrin. The first 4th of July celebration was in 1777. Hello, Blue Blazing. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you like it. I decided to switch everything up a little bit, I am using my actual camera to stream, so it looks a little bit better. So, upgraded the setup a bit. This is the camera that I've always used for my videos, but I was not able to use it for streaming, so decided to do that, see how it turned out. Justin Bieber's first tweet was at 8:27 p.m. on May 11th, 2009. I don't know why that's a fact on here, but there you go. Snakes and lizards both molts out of their skin as they grow. Investigators have come to the conclusion that dinosaurs may have also molted. Zebras have only 1 toe on each foot. Humans have been performing dentistry since 7000 BC, which makes dentists one of the oldest professions. Hello, hello, no name. Welcome to the stream. We're reading some facts today, 1000 facts. We're combing through it. Hope you've been having a good day. Originally, the Pokemon Vulpix was going to be called Foxfire. Not as good. I think Vulpix works better, personally. The first ever documented feature film was made in Australia in 1906. Ancient Rome surgeons were trained to block out the screams of human pain. Good to know. William Hung, made famous for his appearance on American Idol, singing She Bangs, is a 73rd generation descendant of Confucius. That's cool. Also super random, but cool. From 1937 to 1953, NBC's Today Show had a chimpanzee co-host named J. Fred Morgues. It is estimated he brought in the network around $100 million. That's a buttload of money right there. Because snow is composed of ice, it can be classified as a mineral. Water, however, does not fall under the same classification and is not a mineral. Hope everyone's doing well tonight, by the way. Thank you for joining. Thank you for spending the next hour or two with me. It's been a fun time so far. Hope you're all having a nice, relaxing evening. And thank you for spending it with me. Of the 9,000 Blockbuster stores that existed in the early 1990s, at least 10 Blockbusters are open across the US. 7 of those are in Alaska. There is a geocache on the International Space Station, placed in 2008. It has since been visited 4 times by other astronauts. The Vatican had music that was forbidden to be copied and was only played twice per year. It was secret for almost 150 years until a 14-year-old Mozart heard it and transcribed it from memory. Canada eats more macaroni and cheese than any other nation in the world. Octopuses only touch in situations of mating or aggression. Female octopuses sometimes do both, strangling and eating the male after mating. Well, let's just be happy that humans don't do that, right? Scotland wanted to replicate the Parthenon bigger and cheaper in 1826. It was never completed and is now nicknamed Scotland's Disgrace. A French general named John Quincy Adams gave John Quincy Adams a pet alligator. Adams kept it in one of the White House bathtubs and enjoyed showing it off. I mean, you know, it's not every day you get to show off a pet alligator. You know, it's pretty cool. In 1866, the United States purchased Alaska from Russia for $7.2 million by writing a check. In the Philippines, you can buy spaghetti at McDonald's, where they also sell McDo. A McDo, which is a piece of chicken. Though most think it's Italian, pepperoni is an American invention. The first use of the word dates back to 1919. The pumpkin is a member of the cucurbit family, which are gourds, such as cucumbers and squashes. Any prime number higher than 3, when squared and subtracted by 1, will always turn out to be a multiple of 24. When dogs are first born, they are completely blind and cannot hear anything. The first sense which they develop is the sense of touch. Margherita pizza uses tomato, mozzarella, and basil toppings to represent the Italian national flag. It was originally to honor the Queen of Italy in 1890. Sudan has more pyramids than any other country, with 225. They outnumber Egyptian pyramids by twice the amount. The money for the Statue of Liberty came from fundraising, from auctions, a lottery, and boxing matches in Europe and the US. The statue cost the French about $250,000, which today would be over $5.5 million. Not all hamsters are small, although some hamsters are as small as 2 to 4 inches. The largest ones are approximately 13 inches long. The hand and footprints in front of Chinese theater tradition started accidentally when silent film actress Norma Talmadge stepped on wet cement. Fix my hat really quick. There. Better. That's better. Snakes can help predict earthquakes. They can sense a coming earthquake from 75 miles away, up to 5 days before it happens. Soviet Russia needed lighthouses on their uninhabited northern coast, so they built automated lighthouses powered by small nuclear reactors. Animals yawn based on how large their brain is. The bigger their brain, the longer they will yawn. Before Apple bought Siri, it was originally going to be released as an app for Android and BlackBerry. Approximately 1 in every 2,000 babies already has a tooth when they were first born. The Young America Township in Minnesota has a population of less than 1,000, but more than 20 zip codes. The United States Department of Agriculture says the official definition of a sandwich is at least 35% cooked meat and no more than 50% bread. Nutella was invented during World War II when an Italian pastry maker mixed hazelnuts into chocolate to extend his chocolate ration. The original name for Xbox was DirectBox, designed to show how Microsoft's DirectX graphics card could improve the console market. In Switzerland, it is illegal to own just one guinea pig. This is because guinea pigs are social animals, and they are considered victims of abuse if they are alone. Take a sip of water. Walter Hunt, a man from America, invented the safety pin back in 1849. The highest recorded fall without a parachute happened in 1972 at 33,303 feet. The victim, Vesna Volodovich, was in the hospital for 16 months after the fall. A mason in 1700s Jerusalem left his wooden ladder behind after doing some work on a church, and now it can't be moved without the agreement and permission of 6 different Christian leaders. Eminem's mother filed an $11 million defamation lawsuit against him because of his lyrics about her. She settled for $25,000, and $23,354 of that went to her lawyer. 23,000 of that went to her lawyer, excuse me. Not 23 million. She went from $11 million to $25,000. That's a big gap there. She settled. She's like, how dare you say those things about me? San Marino is the 5th smallest country in the world and the 3rd smallest in Europe. A woman faked her entire tragedy and the loss of her husband during the 9/11 attacks and became president of the support network in New York. The Postal Service got its name because of the fact that they originally used USPS to send each other music tracks because of conflicting schedules. Hold on one second. Okay, we're good. Had to burp. December 3rd is known as Roof Over Your Head Day, a day to be grateful for what we have in life. Alaska is the only state in America that can be typed on one row of a traditional English QWERTY keyboard. Michael Jackson's shiny glove was actually just a modified golf glove. The spiked dog collar was invented by the ancient Greeks to protect their dogs from wolf attacks. Mr. and Mrs. originated from using the words master and mistress. The only difference between kosher salt and table salt is the grain size. Kosher salt is smaller, and they both come from underground salt deposits. I have heard using kosher salt is better to season like your food and stuff, though. At least your meats. Invented in 1923, Q-tips were originally called baby gays, then Q-tip baby gays. Finally just Q-tips. The Q stands for quality, basically. The 1912 saw the last Olympic gold medals made entirely out of gold. Every 10 years, the human skeleton repairs and renews itself. Essentially, you have two different bones. You have different bones now than you did 10 years ago. More than two. The first game to be played in space was StarCraft. Daniel Barry took it with him in 1999 on the Space Shuttle mission STS-96. That's pretty cool. Houston is the most diverse city in the United States. As of 2010, 43.8% is Latino, 25.6% is white. It's been a long stream so far. 23.1% is black, and 6% is Asian. That's interesting. I would have thought it was like, somewhere in New York or something, or California, but cool. May 29th is National Put a Pillow on Your Fridge Day. It is celebrated in Europe and the US to bring luck and wealth to the household. I've never heard of this holiday, ever. Never heard of it. When water freezes to ice cubes, it will take up to 9% more volume. The little piece of paper sticking out of a Hershey's Kiss is called a Niggly Wiggly. Okay, that's a pretty risky word there to use. Hope this video doesn't get flagged now. Oh, god damn it, Hershey. As a child, Jet Li performed with the Chinese national wushu team for President Nixon. Nixon asked him to be his personal bodyguard, but he declined. Hello, Dylan. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining me this evening. I hope you've been having a good day so far. Hello. Eating grapefruit can restrict the effects of 43 different kinds of medications. Dinosaurs would swallow large rocks, which stayed in their stomach to help churn and digest food. The word robot comes from the Czech word robota. This translates into forced labor or work. That's cool. It's the same word in Slovakian, by the way, which I can speak as a second language. Robota, which means work, essentially. During 1943, U.S. officials imposed a short-lived ban on sliced bread as a wartime conversion measure. It lasted less than 3 months. Abraham Lincoln loved cats and once left and let one eat from the table during a formal White House dinner. Also, there might be like some delay between the stream and the chat, so just letting you guys know, I am reading your comments, but I think there might be a little bit of a delay. Chicken and alligators. I talked about alligators a while ago, so I hope this stream isn't like super delayed right now. Let me refresh the chat here. That might help a bit. That would be an issue if but I'm not seeing any issues on my end, so hopefully it's fine. The Canadian government isn't sure when Canada became a sovereign state. Its Supreme Court ruled that sovereignty occurred sometime between 1919 and 1931. On April 1st, 2005, NASA pulled an April Fool's prank telling the world that they had found water on Mars. There's a town in Oklahoma, Panhandle, named Hooker. And its slogan is, it's a location, not a vocation. That's pretty good. Oh, okay. You scared me for a second there, chicken. You scared the crap out of me for a second. I was like, because I read a fact about dinosaurs like 200 facts ago, and I'm like, holy crap, how delayed is this stream? That would have been so bad. I get so paranoid. I've been streaming on Twitch, and occasionally, sometimes I have issues. Last week I tried to stream and I was having major lag, so now I'm super paranoid as a result. Japan is facing a ninja shortage. There is a high demand for ninja shows, but it is a dying tradition, and companies have trouble time finding properly trained ninjas. Trouble time finding. This is what it says. Not correct grammar, but I get it. All is good. All is good. Good to know, chicken. Also nice to have a live sentient chicken in the chat. Always good to, spread my channel to other life forms on this earth. Happy to have you here. New Jersey had 4 governors in the span of 8 days in the early 2002s. In early 2002. I don't know why I said it that way. The shortest term of those was served by John Farmer Jr. for 90 minutes. George Miller, the person who created Mad Max, is the same person who created Happy Feet. Surgeons who play video games at least 3 hours a week perform 27% faster and make 37% fewer errors. I have read this fact many times, actually, throughout the course of my channel. It makes sense when you think about it. In Svalbard, a remote Norwegian island, it is illegal to die. So, this is because bodies are unable to be buried safely due to the permafrost on the ground. If you are about to die, they fly you back to mainland Norway to pass on there. When cellophane was invented in 1908, it was originally intended to be used to protect tablecloths from wine spills. A Dutch startup company has been able to start training wild crows so that they pick up cigarette butts and put them in bins for a peanut as a reward. We feel hangry because it's harder for us to control our emotions when our brains are low on glucose. The mayor of a historical district in Alaska is a cat named Stubbs. Mayor Stubbs drinks catnip-laden water from a wine glass every afternoon at a local restaurant. It's just living the good life right there, just living the good life. Spam mail got its name from the canned meat after a Monty Python skit that made fun of spam as tasting horrible and being ubiquitous and inescapable. Humans specifically have eyes that face forward for the purpose of seeing in 3D. On the other hand, vegetarian dinosaurs such as the Triceratops had eyes that looked out to the side so they could stay vigilant, watching for danger as they ate. In the 1980s, the founder of Pringles, Frederick Bohr, requested to be buried in a Pringles can. His children honored their request. You can now get a headstone with a QR code called Living Headstones. They show pages with photos, video biographies, and comments from loved ones. Well, isn't that just the most modern thing you've ever heard, you know? When filming Dumb and Dumber, Jim Carrey had his crown temporarily removed. That chipped tooth is real and a result of a childhood fight. Ginger beer is brewed and fermented with ginger, while ginger ale is merely carbonated water flavored with ginger. During the first live iPhone presentation, Steve Jobs had to frequently switch phones behind his desk, otherwise it would run out of RAM and crash. Very sneaky. In Mississippi, it is considered a federal offense to dine and dash on a check that is over $25. In California, it is only petty theft. The NYPD had a police officer follow Andre the Giant whenever he went out drinking. This was to make sure he didn't get drunk and fall on anyone. In the popular film The Godfather, the word mafia is never said because the actual mafia commanded it. Oh, that's pretty badass to do. Don't use our name in your movie. Don't do it. The only windows that opens on the presidential car is the driver's window to pay tolls. It also has no keyholes, and only the Secret Service knows how to open the doors. That's pretty badass. I actually did not know that one. Thomas Edison invented an electric pen in 1876 that was later adapted to become the first tattoo machine in 1891. Animal Planet aired 2 fake documentaries that proved mermaids exist. So many people thought it was real that the US government issued an official statement about it. In 18th century England, having a pineapple was a symbol of wealth because of high import fees. They would be used as displays instead of being eaten. Marvel's Deadpool issue number 27 holds the Guinness World Record for the most comic book characters on one cover. Instead of an agent, Bill Murray uses a 1800 number where you can leave a message for him if you want to cast him for a movie or event. When written down, the word almost is the longest word in the English language to have all of its letters in alphabetical order. The black-footed cat is the smallest wildcat at just 20 inches long. The world's most remote ATM is run by Wells Fargo in the Antarctic. The ATMs serve around 1,200 residents at the U.S. scientific facility. The first Game Boy could run for a staggering 30 hours on only 2 AA batteries. Hershey's chocolate syrup, Ritz crackers, Dum Dums, and Oreos are all suitable for vegans. The sound of a Star Wars lightsaber was created by pairing together the sound of an idle film projector and the buzz from an old TV set. Your tonsils can grow back if there was tissue left behind during the removal process. Sometimes it's accidental, other times it's left on purpose. to leave the European Union in 1985 and has not rejoined since. Every second, the human eye moves 50 times. There's a reply to the saying, liar, liar, pants on fire. It's, I don't care, I can buy another pair. I mean, the appropriate response would simply be like, I don't care, and just leave it at that. How do you respond to that, right? You're a liar. I don't care. It's like, well, there's no comeback, right? They don't care. Only 2% of the world's population have green eyes. The AD and BC system was not proposed until 525 AD by a monk. However, it was not widely used until the 19th century. Daniel Radcliffe had the same stunt double for the first 6 Harry Potter movies, until the double was paralyzed from an accident on set during the filming of the 7th movie. Tater tots are a registered trademark. Originally failed because people thought the product was too cheap. Popularity rose after the price was raised. Movie theaters make roughly 85% of their profit off concession stands. We know that shit is expensive. This is because ticket revenues have to be shared with the movie distributors. Yeah, these concessions are super pricey. My friend and I used to we would sneak snacks into the movie theater. Most of the time, the people that were, at the front checking tickets, they just didn't care. So, by mixing nanoplatelets from carrots and other vegetables, concrete mixtures can be significantly strengthened, meaning less cement is needed to achieve the same effect. Honey and items immersed in honey can be preserved for centuries. The long shelf life is due to an enzyme found in the stomach of bees. Credit card EMV chip technology has been around since 1986. It was the first implemented in France, with Germany following shortly after. The odds of being born in February 29th are 1 in 1,461. People who donate blood in Sweden are sent a text message each time their blood saves a life. Well, that's pretty awesome. In the US, around 3/4 of all houses possess at least 1 jar of peanut butter. 30 of the first 31 popes were murdered. Most of them were martyred, but not all causes of death are known. The average US household has 300,000 things. From paper clips to ironing boards, US children make up 30.7% of children on the planet, but have 47% of all toys and children's books. The commonly known phrase "to a T" means something that fits just right. Interestingly enough, this expression derives from a similar phrase "to a tittle," which is a small mark that is used in spelling norms, like the dots of I's or J's or an accent mark. Both Motel 6 and Super 8 got their names from the original prices of the rooms. Motel 6 started at $6 in 1962, and Super 8 at $8.88 in 1974. About 25% of all blood from the heart goes into the kidneys. In Israel, it is illegal to bring bears to the beach, so don't do it if you're in Israel. Rednecks, the band that remixed and popularized Cotton Eye Joe, is not Southern but Swedish. BuzzFeed sponsored content costs about $20,000 for 5 or 6 articles. They don't mess around, huh? They do not come cheap. Comments only reflect 4% of the light that falls on them. The rest is absorbed. The name for the shape of Pringles is called a hyperbolic paraboloid. Writing down your worries before taking an exam can help combat test anxiety, improve performance, and boost your test scores. The highest body count in film history goes to The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King with 836 on-screen deaths. There is an uninhabited island in the Bahamas known as Big Beach, which is populated entirely by swimming pigs. Hello, Daniel. Do I like horror games? I do. I watch a lot of this YouTuber John Wolf that he plays horror games, and I do that sometimes when I don't have time to play horror games, but I do enjoy horror games. I'm playing Dead by Daylight on Twitch right now, which is kind of like a horror game too. And Resident Evil is also one of my favorite games. Played Resident Evil 2 last year, which was a lot of fun. When filming Rocky IV, Lundgren hit Sylvester Stallone for real, and he ended up in the hospital for 9 days. For almost 15 years, Vermont was technically its own country before joining the United States in 1791, excuse me. It had its own coins and its own postal service. The adult kidney weighs about 5 ounces, or 142 grams, and is the size of a fist. Without saliva, humans are unable to taste food. The German Autobahn has no speed limits because Western Germany saw them as a Nazi relic. This became effective in 1972. I am currently on fact number 446, so we're deep into it. Of course, this will be up as a video after this stream, so you can just replay everything. I don't know if I'll edit it first or not, but it'll be up regardless, is the point. So, if you ate nothing but rabbit meat, you would die from protein poisoning. This would be a mixture of too much protein and an absence of fat in the diet. The loudness of a monkey is relative to the size of its testicles. Okay. Researchers found that the smaller the testicles, the louder the monkey. And, you know, that might translate to humans as well. I'm just kidding. Every Pixar movie contains a reference to the Pixar movie that comes after it. Joe Arretti had an IQ of 46 and is known as the happiest prisoner on death row. He went into the gas chamber with a smile. It turned out he was innocent. That's pretty badass. There exists a plankton, dinoflagellates, which, if consumed, reverses your feeling of hot and cold, as well as hallucinations. Symptoms can last for weeks or years. That's pretty crazy. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Red pandas have no living relatives. They aren't even related to giant pandas, to be quite frank. After Christianity, the largest religious affiliation in the US is Judaism. Ewok jerky was a popular snack across the Outer Rim in the Star Wars universe. Italy built an entire courthouse to prosecute the mafia. Doug Engelbart created the very first computer mouse from wood in 1964. The smallest thing ever photographed is the shadow of an atom. Despite Mercury being the closest planet to the Sun, Venus is the warmest planet. There are no visual differences between male and female herons. Cranes are built using cranes. In the popular 2014 movie Godzilla, the Godzilla portrayal was only seen for about 8 minutes in the entire film. In every scene of Fight Club, there is a Starbucks coffee cup. It snowed in the Sahara Desert for 30 minutes on February 18th, 1979. PewDiePie supported his YouTube channel by selling hot dogs. This was before he was popular, obviously. A Approximately 1 million dogs in the US are named as the heirs of their owners' wills. It takes longer to drown in salt water than in fresh water. Because of this, around 90% of drowning occurs in fresh water. Employees at Miller Coors get 3 free cases of beer each month. That's a pretty nice perk. Steven Spielberg was executive producer of the Animaniacs. Kanye West's song Hey Mama was dedicated to his mother, who died in 2007 after complications with plastic surgery. More than 90% of survivors of the 9/11 terror attacks delayed evacuation to save their work, shut down computers, change shoes, or visit the bathroom. Queen Elizabeth saved up post-war clothing ration coupons in order to pay for her wedding dress in 1947. Sweden has the most islands in the world, with 221,800 islands. Although dingoes are about the same size as a Springer Spaniel, they are brave enough to target an adult kangaroo when hunting in packs. If you keep smelling something that is not really there, you may be experiencing the early symptoms of schizophrenia. Well, good thing I'm avoiding that. I haven't smelled something that's not there, I don't think ever. So, when George Washington died, Napoleon Bonaparte of France gave a personal eulogy and ordered a 10-day mourning period for France. Since the death penalty was restored in 1979, the states of Washington and New Hampshire have returned to hanging as an available method of execution. Holy crap. It's a little intense, isn't it? Even though drugs are officially illegal in the Netherlands, it's legal to be under the influence of any drug to encourage people to seek medical help. The first world leader to create a YouTube channel was the British Prime Minister Tony Blair, who made his account in 2007. Rick Astley has his own brand of beer. It is a collaboration between him and the Danish microbrewery Mikkeller. It's a red lager with a hint of ginger. The total spend on an adult Halloween costume each year is $1.5 billion. Apologize for the car going by. It's been relatively quiet this evening, with a couple of hiccups here and there. When double rainbows occur, the colors of the second arc are always reversed. Bookworms are actual insects that bore holes in books. 3 inches of ice can support one person on foot. 4 inches can support a group of people, single file. 36 inches can support up to 110 tons of weight. January 17th is known as Ditch New Year's Resolution Day. Only 17 days later. Dinosaurs that could run using just 2 legs are referred to as bipeds. Russia has the most man-made satellites in orbit with 1,324. There is a total of 2,271 with the US in second place at 658. The most difficult Chinese character requires 62 total strokes to write. In order to protect themselves from poachers, African elephants have been evolving without tusks, which unfortunately also hurts their species. A certain type of box jellyfish's venom will make you feel a strong sense of anxiety and sense of impending doom, and possibly thoughts of suicide. These symptoms can last for up to 2 weeks. Maybe I should skip facts like these, a little bit much for a relaxing ASMR video. The island in Lake Bled is the only natural island in Slovenia. In Switzerland, it is illegal to flush the toilet after 10 p.m. If sheep have long tails, tails when they are born. The tails are cut off in order to prevent infection. The names for a collective group of rhinoceroses is called a crash. Because of the Electoral College, a presidential candidate can win with only 23% of the popular vote. There was a snail glued to a specimen card in the British Museum mid-1800s. August 21st is Senior Citizens' Day, a day to honor the oldest generation. William Shakespeare had a curse engraved on his tombstone to prevent anyone from moving his bones. Acetaminophen, one of the most popular painkillers, restrains masculinity and dulls emotions. It's been rejected in 1887 for its side effects, then approved in 1955. The 21 Pilots fan base is known as the Skeleton Clique. A man who was hanged for his part in the Guy Fawkes gunpowder plot had his skin removed, and it was used to bind a book that listed his offenses. Well, that's pretty intense metal, I would say. Valentine's Day in South Korea is a little bit different. Only women give gifts, not men. Cookie Monster's real name is Sid. Comedian Mitch Hedberg never passed on a job, having been told no so often early in his career that he felt like if he didn't say yes, he might not be given the opportunity to perform again. At any given moment, there are 1,800 thunderstorms happening on this earth. March 3rd is known as What If Cats and Dogs Had Opposable Thumbs Day. While writing the famous song Hallelujah, Leonard originally wrote 80 verses for the song, which he sometimes interchanges in and out depending on where he's playing. People can suffer from a psychological disorder called boanthropy that makes them believe they are a cow. People can suffer, I'm repeating the same one, my apologies. Hugh Jackman often will tell the paparazzi where he is when he goes home to Australia so that they can get their photos and leave him alone for the rest of the visit. I mean, that'll work, that'll work. Hugh Jackman knows what's up. The largest living thing on Earth is a giant sequoia named General Sherman. Tupac was the first U.S. artist to have an album reach Billboard #1 while still in prison. If you multiply 1089 times 9, you get the exact reverse, 9801. August 17th is known as Black Cat Appreciation Day. Saturn is so big that Earth could fit into it a whopping 755 times. Rap God by Eminem packs 1,560 words into a 6-minute and 4-second song. A water dropwort is a highly poisonous plant. If it kills you, it can cause you to smile after you die. That's creepy as fuck, isn't it? There is a British chocolate scientist who insured her taste buds for £1 million. Kraft singles cannot be advertised as cheese because US FDA standards state a food can only be identified as cheese if it contains at least 51% real cheese. When the Titanic sank in 1912, there were 3 dogs that survived. They had all been traveling with their owners in the first-class cabins. China has a series of underground tunnels running 3,000 miles long. They are used to store and transport mobile intercontinental ballistic missiles. Pit bulls rank high among the most affectionate and least affectionate dogs. They're only aggressive when forcibly trained as such, usually for illegal dog fighting. Using tanning beds before age 30 increases your risk of developing melanoma by 75%. Yeah, I would stay away from those. When Blackbeard captured ships, many of the African slaves on board would go to become pirates. The poodle is one of the cleanest breeds of dogs, making them a great choice for people with pet allergies. They don't molt much at all, and they rarely smell either. Owls have specialized feathers where the edges protrude out to dissipate airflow. This means that they are able to fly silently and are highly deadly hunters. A man, Ben Sliney, grounded 4,000 commercial planes across the United States on 9/11 due to the attacks. It was his first day on the job. That's pretty insane. California law does not allow or prohibit lane splitting when motorcycles pass other vehicles within the same lane. In California, you get a ticket if you're driving too slow. Malta's official language is Maltese, however, the majority of the population speaks English. More civilians died in the Battle of Stalingrad than the nuclear atrocities at Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined. Your brain uses 20% of the total oxygen in your body. Both Kit Kat and Rolo is produced globally by Nestle, except in the US, where it's made by their competitor, Hershey's. When electricity was first installed in the White House in 1891, the President Benjamin Harrison and his wife were afraid of electrocution because of the new concept. They refused to touch light switches, so the staff had to turn the lights on and off for them. 35,000 hectares of peas are grown in the UK in a single year. In 2007, a 1,000-gallon inflatable swimming pool was stolen from someone's backyard without a single drop of water being found. Both US and Soviet militaries have trained dolphins. Being in a negative relationship can weaken your immune system. October 19th is Evaluate Your Life Day. The total population of insects is estimated to be 1 billion times greater than that of the human population. Snoop Dogg's real name is Cortazar Calvin Brodius Jr. His Snoop Dogg nickname came from his mother, who thought he looked like Snoopy from the Peanuts. When the historic Plaza Hotel in New York City opened in 1907, a room cost $2.50 per night, the same as $64.26 today. The Plaza now charges over $1,000 a night. Originally, the Eiffel Tower was going to be erected in Barcelona, but the project was rejected because citizens thought it was an eyesore. The world's longest place name has 85 letters and is located in New Zealand. Long ago, people chewed on tree bark as a method of pain relief. The oldest "your mom" joke was discovered on a 3,500-year-old Babylonian tablet in Iraq in 1976. Kangaroos keep growing until they die. They are the world's largest marsupial. In 1923, a jockey suffered a fatal heart attack, but his horse finished and won the race, making him the first and only jockey to win a race after death. A red blood cell takes only about 20 seconds to make a complete circuit through your body. Iceland was chosen as the training ground for Apollo astronauts because it was the most moon-like surface. A polygon with 30 sides is a tricontagon. The shower curtain effect is the phenomenon in which a shower curtain gets blown inward with a running shower. After a waitress at a pizzeria helped a customer choose the numbers for a winning lottery ticket in 1914, he tipped her $3 million, half of his $6 million prize money. Well, that's pretty nice of him. While most people think Neil Patrick Harris an actor, he is also a writer, producer, comedian, singer, and he's even an amateur magician. Part of the Falkland Islands is littered with leftover landmines from the Falkland Wars. The first jet aircraft was invented in Nazi Germany. Development started in 1936, but the first takeoff occurred in 1939. Verner's ginger ale is the oldest soda still being sold. It was created by Detroit pharmacist James Verner in 1866. If you were to have your picture taken by the very first camera, you would need to sit still for 8 hours. If you were to have your picture, I read that already. Oops. I'm starting to wind down a bit. Of the top 20 most watched TV broadcasts in the United States, 19 were Super Bowls, and the other was the 1983 finale of MASH. English accounts for 50% of visited web pages, even though the amount of English users is only 26%. Russian is the second. In season 5 of Breaking Bad, Aaron Paul was paid $150,000 per episode. September 25th is known as World Dream Day, a day about chasing your dreams, no matter how big or how small they may be. The NBA was founded on June 6th, 1946. A snail can sleep for 3 years. Since 1496, the UK has printed their laws on vellum, made from calf or goat skin. They are still doing this today to uphold tradition. In New Delhi, if a tree falls sick, an ambulance is dispatched to treat them. It takes 4 people to do the job. Ben & Jerry's has an online flavor graveyard for their 10 discounted ice cream flavors. Each one has a photo, lifespan, and epitaph. Females are better at distinguishing colors, while males excel at tracking fast-moving objects and discerning detail from a distance. During the Aztec reign, a slave could be bought for 100 cocoa beans. The average temperature of a beehive is the same as a human body. The famous Lacoste crocodile symbol was created in 1933 and was the first designer logo ever. Each day on Neptune lasts for around 16 hours, 6 minutes, and 36 seconds. The fear of vegetables is called Likanophobia. In English, 12 is the largest number that has just 1 syllable. Out of the 400 species of parrots, there is only one that can't fly, called the kakapo parrot. Calling shotgun when riding in a car comes from the term shotgun messenger. This term was used to refer to a guard who sat next to the stagecoach driver. The guard would use a shotgun to keep robbers and criminals away. Dogs with pointed and long faces tend to live longer than those which have flatter faces, such as pugs. I think that has something to do with like breathing issues and stuff, if I'm not mistaken. In 2005, Frito-Lay launched Cheetos Lip Balm, but it was quickly taken off the market due to its failure. The average human heart beats 3.6 million times per year. The average life expectancy of a toucan is a very impressive 20 years. A standard 20-ounce jar of honey takes 864 bees to produce. 7% of all American adults believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. That works out to 16.4 million people. In Japan, many families eat at KFC for Christmas dinner. Many people order their meals months in advance and queue for hours to collect them. That's interesting. They must really like KFC, huh? Arctic and Antarctic trace their names to the simple meanings of bears and opposite the bears. Your earlobes line up with your nipples. Jupiter completes a rotation of the sun every 11.86 years. Hansen made a beer called Hops. Using a hand-free device to talk on the phone while driving is shown to be equally or more dangerous than drunk driving. Even a small amount of alcohol placed on a scorpion will make it go crazy and sting itself to death. The first roller coaster was used to transport coal down a hill. The monster in Frankenstein was never actually named, although the monster itself proposed the name Adam. At one point, 50% of the CDs produced worldwide had an AOL logo on it. There are 30 times more trees on Earth than there are stars in the Milky Way. It's estimated that there are 100 billion stars and 3 trillion trees. Hello, my friend. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Welcome back. We're doing some facts today. 2.5 hours in. A little over halfway done, I would say. Almost done. Probably take another hour, I would think. There are 30 times more trees. Read that one already. Moving on. The first spacecraft to visit Mars was a Mariner 4 in 1965. According to biblical scholars, Jesus was more than likely born in a cave, not a stable, as the tale says. The process by which bread toasts is called the Maillard reaction. The front paws of a cat are different from the back paws. They have 5 toes on the front, but only 4 on the back. The word barbarian originally referred to people who don't speak Greek. The Greeks thought people who spoke a foreign tongue sounded like they were saying bar 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 all the time. A group of horses will never go to sleep at the same time. At least one of them will stay awake to look out for the others. Antimatter is the most expensive substance on Earth. It costs roughly to 62.5 trillion per gram. The word friends is said in every episode of Friends. Alongside Sudoku, chess has been named as one of the best ways to improve the mind and the memory. I have to get back into playing chess. I might do it on the channel at some point. In Utah, birds have the right of way on a highway. Logan was the most complained about movie in the UK in 2017, as viewers felt that the movie was too violent for its 15 rating. It was Nicolas Cage who first advised Johnny Depp to pursue a career in acting during the mid-1980s. While hunting, stoats go crazy, jumping, spinning, and twisting to get a rabbit's attention. This hypnotizes the rabbit until the stoat gets close enough to attack. Jellyfish are considered biologically immortal. They don't age and will never die unless they are killed. That's interesting. I would look at jellyfish for like some sort of key to immortality, you know? Like what is it about their biology that makes them, you know, basically immortal? Extreme ironing is a sport in which people take ironing boards to remote locations and iron items of clothing. It originated in England. Mickey Mouse was the first ever cartoon character to talk. His first words were, "hot dogs." Bob Ross's hair was naturally straight, but he chose to get a perm so he could save money on haircuts when touring the US penniless in his mobile home. He actually hated his curly hair, but he kept it as he thought it was iconic. The longer you spend dating someone before marrying, the less likely the marriage is to end in divorce. It costs almost $290,000 per year in fees to run a hot dog cart near the Central Park Zoo in New York City. Around 15% of active Twitter accounts are social bots. Contrary to popular belief, only 45% of the London Underground is actually underground. In 2013, a plant was genetically spliced that grew tomatoes above ground and potatoes underground. It is called the tomtato. In Indonesia, there is a word, jayus, that means a joke told so poorly and so unfunny that one cannot help but laugh. Overwhelmingly, red states have the highest rate of dog ownership, while the residents of blue states are more likely to keep a cat as a pet. I think this probably has to do with the fact that a lot of blue states are just like have a lot of big cities, and in big cities it's less likely or it's more difficult to have a dog because of other reasons, various reasons. Frederick Douglass was the most photographed man of the 19th century. He wanted to ensure an accurate depiction of Black Americans during the Civil War. Apple seeds, cherry apricot, and peach pits contain cyanide, but it takes a large amount of it to actually make you sick or kill you. In Australia, there are nearly twice the amount of kangaroos as there are humans. So the Australian kangaroo revolution is upon us, is what they're trying to say. The kangaroos shall have their day, and they will take Australia back. During the Prohibition era, the US government allowed whiskey to be sold through pharmacies. 15% of iPhone users use an iPhone with a broken screen. Yeah, I think my screen's just about getting there. I dropped it on the phone, it's got a little crack on it, so it's getting there. Baby owls are called owlets. The EU didn't want to showcase any country over another, so the architecture on each EU banknote was created by a computer to make neutral designs. Elephants can die of a broken heart if their mate dies. The average person takes 12 seconds to count to 24. It's Australian tradition to eat sausages at polling places on election day, called democracy sausages. That's pretty cool. I'm hungry now. Celebrity chef Jamie Oliver has such severe dyslexia that he didn't read his first novel until he was 38. The fear of cooking is known as Magorocophobia and is recognized as a phobia. In Cambodia, rats are being trained to sniff out landmines. They can clear out 200 square meters in less than 35 minutes, and that usually takes 2 to 3 days. 10% of Filipinos, which is approximately 10 million people, live overseas. The country with the highest amount in the United States, with almost 4 million Filipinos. The collective name for a group of unicorns is called a blessing. President Ulysses Grant was arrested while in office. He was charged, booked, and released for speeding on a horse, and he had to pay a fine. Dogs have a total of 42 teeth when they are fully grown. Originally, cigarette filters were made out of cork, the look of which was incorporated into today's pattern. During 9/11, some fighters took off without live ammo, knowing that to stop the hijackers, the pilots might have to crash their fighters into the planes. In Halden Prison in Norway, guards are encouraged to interact, play sports, and eat with the inmates. This is to prevent aggression and create a sense of family. The Danish flag is the oldest current flag of a sovereign state. It was adopted in 1370 or earlier. The second oldest is in the Netherlands at 1572. The entire population could fit in Texas, allotting 320 square feet per person. Texas is a very big state. On average, 97 chickens are killed every 0.05 seconds worldwide. Poor chickens. Poor chickens. I hope it's not like the chicken in chat. You might be in trouble, man. You might be in trouble. When Michael Emerson was cast for the major television show Lost, he was only intended to be on for 3 episodes. But the producers were so impressed with him that they promoted him to a series regular. Paul McCartney was only paid £1 for his performance at the 2012 London Olympics closing ceremonies. He willingly donated his performance. All of the sweaters Mr. Rogers wore on his show were hand-knitted by his mother. The maximum recommended consumption for Monster Energy drink is 16 ounces in Australia, but 48 ounces in the US. Obviously, we're always going to consume more. That's what we do. Coca-Cola was first served in 1886. Alexander Hamilton was shot and mortally wounded by Aaron Burr on the same spot that his son had been killed 3 years before, and by the same set of pistols. Medical errors are the 6th leading cause of death in the US. Nicki Minaj is an acrophobic, meaning she's afraid of heights. Ed Sheeran has a bottle of ketchup tattooed on his arm. Why? I don't know, but he does. It's weird, but there you go. Whatever he likes. I like ketchup too. I get it. Manatees can get frostbite in water below 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius. Their fat is not designed to insulate them from the cold. There is a town in India called Santa Claus. Darth Vader is derived from Old Dutch, meaning dark father. In the original Psycho movie, the blood in the famous shower scene was actually chocolate syrup. There are more storms on Mars when the planet is closer to the sun. The word gymnastics linguistically means to train naked. In the film Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, every single one of the clone troopers was produced using CGI effects. You're not allowed to swear if playing in Wimbledon. It is legal to play a musical instrument in the Northern Territory, Australia, for the purpose of annoying other people. Well, that's good. Bob Marley's last words were, "Money can't buy life." America consumes almost 50% of the world's chocolate. We like our chocolate. A study at Florida State University discovered that playing Portal 2 is better for your brain than brain training games like Lumosity. Video games in general, I think, are good for the brain if consumed in moderation. People who eat breakfast feel better both mentally and physically throughout the day. Well, I actually skip breakfast, so there you go. The original Xbox contained edited snippets of actual transmissions from the Apollo missions. When Pink Floyd designed the Animals album cover, the inflatable pig tied to the power station broke free, causing Heathrow Airport to cancel all their flights. Herring fish communicate by using flatulence. Schnapsity is the German word for a ridiculous idea that only sounds good when you're drunk. I'm not even going to try to do a German accent now. It's too late into this stream. Oh dear, he committed a Schnapsity. Forgiveness is the #1 trait linked to happiness in humans. Yeah, because it's tied to not holding hatred in your heart. Forgiving people, just like water under the bridge, water up the duck's back, that type of thing. The police in Belfast, Northern Ireland used music from an ice cream truck to calm down angry teen rioters. Interesting tactic. The music actually diffused the situation, but the officers were reprimanded for it, so thinking outside the box, sometimes people don't like it for whatever reason, even though it worked. Pantheism is the belief that God did not create the universe, but rather the universe is God. By using big data, Walmart determined that people stock up the most on strawberry Pop-Tarts and beer before a hurricane. Comfort food, I guess. The most hashtags on Instagram are love, instagood, me, cute, and follow. Cats can hear ultrasound. Aggressive sitting is a sport. It originated in Berlin no later than 2008. The whole Harry Potter series contains 199 chapters, 4,024 pages, and 1,090,739 words, and has been made into 19 hours and 39 minutes of film. My nose is itchy for some reason. The distance from your wrist to your elbow is the same length as your foot. A group of parrots is known as a pandemonium of parrots. In ancient Greece, throwing an apple to a woman was a symbolic declaration of love, and to catch it was to show acceptance of that love. The average computer user blinks 7 times a minute. The normal rate is 22 times per minute. If you keep a goldfish in a dark room, it will become pale. Worldwide cucumber production was 57.5 million tons in 2010 alone, with 40.7 million tons of production and export happening in China. When tea started being sold in bags, originally it was intended to be removed from the bags by customers, but they found it easier to brew the tea still in the bag. If the electors of the Holy Roman Empire did not vote within 30 days, they were not they were only allowed to eat bread and water and forbidden to leave the city. Oh, that's one way to make sure people vote. A woman once tried to commit suicide by jumping off the Empire State Building. She jumped from the 86th floor, but was blown back onto the 85th floor by a gust of wind. That just sounds straight up like divine intervention, doesn't it? Cucumber can actually cure bad breath. A slice pressed to the roof of your mouth for 30 seconds with your tongue allows the phytochemicals to kill the problematic bacteria. What if you drank cucumber water, Like I used to do that when I worked in an office. I would drink cucumber water. I don't know. I don't have bad breath though, not that I know of. No one has ever complained to me. I'll just say that much, but Wonder Woman has a black sister, Nubia. She was sculpted from black clay like Diana was sculpted from white clay. 27,000 trees are cut down every day to support the world's toilet paper. According to scientists, the weight of the average cumulus cloud is 1.1 million pounds. Egg yolks are one of the few foods that naturally contain vitamin D. The first band to ever perform live on all 7 continents was Metallica. November 17th is known as Unfriend Day. It's a day when you should unfriend anyone that you don't know or speak to. 2017 survey found Paraguay to be the happiest country in the world for the 2nd year in a row. In a few Appalachian forests, there are fireflies that glow blue for up to a minute instead of flashing yellow. I've been talking for 3 hours, and yet it's my nose that's bothering me, which is weird. It's itchy for some reason, and I don't know why. There are more than 70 species of mushrooms that glow in the dark. Some butterfly species are extremely fast. The skipper butterfly can fly faster than a horse can run. Canadian law requires citizens to answer a math question when entering sweepstakes. The Empire State Building only took a little over a year to build, 410 days, and it was 12 days ahead of schedule when completed. Neptune was the first planet to be found through mathematical predictions rather than telescopic location. Foxes have whiskers on their legs. This helps them with their bearings, especially when it's dark outside. The call of a kookaburra is used as the stock jungle sound effect in many movies and shows set in the jungles of Africa, South America, even though they're only in Australia and New Guinea. Deep snow can sometimes appear blue in color because the extra layers of snow create a filter for light. Crows can remember the faces of individual humans. They can also hold a grudge. Of all the animals, crows would be the ones to do that. In 1942, a 12-year-old lied about his age to join the Navy. He became a decorated war hero at age 13, but was thrown out of the Navy after his mom found out. Welcome, Paul. My first live ASMR right now. I always miss them. Well, welcome. Happy to have you. Sit back, relax. It's time for you to chill out, listen to some fun facts, and relieve some stress, if nothing else. So welcome. Thank you for joining this evening. A Brussels airline flight to Vienna was aborted because the pilot was attacked in the cockpit. the attacker was a passenger's cat. The least common day to be born on is May 22nd. Reindeer are one of the only mammals that can see UV light. Angelina Jolie performed her own stunts whilst filming Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. Because of its unique tilt, a single night on Uranus lasts 21 years. Imagine living through a 21-year night. Alaska is the state which produces the most serial killers. It's gotta be the gold. It's gotta be the gold. There is such an expensive collection of books under the British Library in their archive that if a person could read 5 books per day, it would take 80,000 years to complete. The king of Macedon threatened Sparta with, "If I bring my army into your land, I will raise your city." The Spartans replied, "If no attempt was made to capture the city." That's such a badass response. They're like, "If, try, we'll see what happens." 85% of Valentine's Day cards are bought by women. Chocolate ice cream has been proven to significantly reduce emotional and physical pain. I would think ice cream in general, or any comfort food for that matter, makes you feel better. I don't know about physical, but emotional anyway. Due to paralytics administered, if you wake up during surgery, you probably won't be able to tell anyone. I wonder what the percentage of people that wake up during surgery is. I hope it's 0. In America, it is a federal crime to use your roommate or friend's Netflix account. Oops. I'm pretty sure everyone's broken that one. Volkswagen owns Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini, Audi, Ducati, and Porsche. Half of those rhyme. Facebook causes you to overestimate how happy your friends are and in turn makes you more depressed. I would say that's social media in general. That's just a social media thing, not necessarily a Facebook thing. Because it's now you get into Instagram and stuff and TikTok, and now you see people that you don't even know. Never mind your friends. Gatorade was invented to help the Florida Gators football team stay hydrated. When Nike first started, it was called Blue Ribbon Sports. The name was changed in 1971. 28 is the atomic number of nickel and the atomic mass of silicone. The modern salute is believed to be derived from the way in which French knights would greet each other by lifting the visors of their helmets. In 1937, a major fire broke out at the Fox Film Studio in New Jersey. The fire destroyed 75% of their movies, including most of their silent films. Fungus is more closely related to animals on a genetic level than they are to plants. No relationship is ever a waste of your time. If it didn't bring you what you want, it taught you what you didn't want. Is that a fact, though? Or is that more of an opinion? I guess it could, right? Teach you what you didn't want, if nothing else. It gives you experience. The average person in France sleeps 8.83 hours per day, the most in the developed world. Akon is the number 1 selling artist for ringtones in the world. Albert Einstein was married to his distant cousin, Elsa Einstein. Hold on one second. I think we're okay. I just didn't want I thought a police car was going by. I can deal with some noise, but police sirens are pretty loud. Might disturb the ASMR. Akon. Oh, where was I? Oh, here I am. The Pokemon games. In the Pokemon games, Poliwag and Ditto have the same cry sounds. The Hogwarts Express from the Harry Potter movies is a real train in Scotland. Einstein's brain went missing when he died in 1955 and was lost for 23 years. The doctor who worked on his autopsy stole it and kept it in a hidden cider box. When you remember a past event, you are actually remembering the last time you remembered it, not the event itself. Well, that's weird, isn't that? That's like Inception right there. Then at the 1936 Olympic Games, competitors from the Liechtenstein were shocked to discover their flag was the exact same as Hades. They added a crown to their flag a year later. In Zimbabwe, it is illegal for citizens to make offensive gestures at a passing car. The word oxymoron is itself an oxymoron. Seashells by the Seashore was written about a female paleontologist from the 1800s. She actually sold dinosaur bones and fossilized shells. This one's funny. Scientists have no idea how dinosaurs mated. That's funny. I don't know why I find that so humorous. There is a Japanese village called Nagoro, which has 35 inhabitants, but over 350 scarecrows. Another term for your nieces or nephews would be nibblings. Daniel Radcliffe broke over 80 wands while filming the Harry Potter movies because he used them as drumsticks. The butterflies you get in your stomach when you see someone you like is actually a stress response called adrenaline. I felt that many a time. I know all about that. The insurance company backing the payouts for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire sued the show for being too easy. Jessie J's full name is Jessica Ellen Cornish. There is no federally declared official language for the U.S. English is only the official language of 32 states. It requires 7 to 8 trees to provide enough oxygen for just one person per year. There are more people in the UK than in Canada, Australia, Norway, and Iceland combined. The UK population is over 65 million. Walking uses a total of 200 muscles with every step you take. The first known recipe of angel food cake was published in 1878. Arizona driver's licenses don't expire until you're 65. You then have to renew in person every 5 years. In general, people tend to read as much as 10% slower from a screen than from paper. And I wonder if that's going to change, in the next 100 to 150 years to 200 years, from an evolutionary standpoint, since kids are reading from a tablet the minute they're born. Rabbits can literally be scared to death if approached by a predator when they are totally unaware. Oh, poor little guys. Pisanthrophobia is a common fear of trusting people due to past experiences with relationships gone bad. September 3rd is International Bacon Day. Ooh. The same brain cycles that occur when asleep still happen when you're awake, but in smaller sections, meaning parts of your brain are always falling asleep. 1 in every 4 cranes in the entire world is in Dubai. The Lion King was originally called King of the Jungle before they realized that lions don't actually live in jungles. Pure cocoa can help prevent tooth decay. Baby rabbits are collectively known as a litter. Iceland has a dating app that stops you from hooking up with your cousin. NASA stands for National Aeronautics and Space Administration. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it stood for North American Space Administration. I had no idea that it stands for something else all this time. April 12th is known as Grilled Cheese Sandwich Day. Every day in the US, more than 100,000 people are getting a speeding ticket. There's someone getting a speeding ticket at right this very moment, right now. Oh, another person. Probably another person. With each passing sentence. Airport runway numbers actually indicate direction on a compass. Saurophobia is the fear of mice. The Goliath frog is the largest frog in the world and can grow up to 12.5 inches or 32 centimeters in length and weigh up to 7.2 pounds or 3.3 kilograms. December 12th is Ding-a-ling Day. It's a day to call friends and family that you haven't spoken to in a while. Why ding-a-ling? fuck if I know, right? It's Ding-a-ling Day. I thought they were going to go in a completely different direction, if I'm going to be honest. There are more volcanoes on Venus than any other planet within our solar system. The age of the universe is estimated to be 3.7 billion years. Trichodecaphobia is the fear of the number 13. That's pretty common in the US, I think. Japanese people rarely leave rubbish on the streets. As a result, Japan doesn't need janitors. It seems like this list was like written by different people, you know? The word rubbish is being used, which is not like an American term. So, interesting thing there. I pick up on these little nuances. I don't know why. Eye of newt, toe of frog, and wool of bat are just archaic terms for mustard seed, buttercup, and holly leaves. Northern Korean people are legally only allowed to have one of 28 haircuts. Men and women can choose from 14 different styles. Eating a banana can help to form a lining that prevents heartburn from getting worse. I might have a banana after this stream, actually. The closest living relatives of hippopotamuses are whales, dolphins, and porpoises. I can't say that properly. The Great Wall of China is 3,728 miles long. When Play-Doh was first developed in the 1930s, it wasn't a toy. It was a way to clean wallpaper. In ancient Bafia culture, one could purchase a wife for the price of 30 potato mashers. Okay, so there you go. Things have changed quite a bit since then. In a human foot, there are 26 bones. Antarctica is the only continent that turtles don't live on. Warren Buffett eats at McDonald's every single morning and only orders one of three things. It never costs him more than $3.17. Yeah, I would recommend going a healthier route than that, but it's his life. That's like Donald Trump drinking a Diet Coke every day. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like if I was filthy rich like them, I know time is money, but I would just hire like a personal chef to make me like the most delicious food or something, you know, like healthy, delicious lobster or something like that. But that's just me. I don't know. Psychopaths can only think of the possible positive consequences of their actions. not the negative ones. They literally don't know the meaning of pros and cons. Disney World is the second largest purchaser of explosives in the United States. The first, of course, being the Department of Defense. Hard cheeses have a longer shelf life than soft cheeses. There were 19 living men in Austria found to be direct descendants of Otzi, the Iceman, in 2013, determined by blood testing. The Latin name for banana is Musa sapientum, which translates to fruit of the wise men. Coca-Cola owns all website URLs that can be read as A, all the way up to 62 H's. In 1907, a woman was arrested on a beach in Boston for wearing a one-piece swimsuit. Mountain Dew is slang for moonshine. It was originally created as a mixture of moonshine and whiskey in Tennessee. A crocodile escaped out of a duffel bag on board a flight in Congo, causing everybody to go to the front of the plane. This caused the plane to crash, leaving only one survivor. August 5th is known as National Underwear Day. Sprite was manufactured as Coca-Cola's response to the popularity of 7-Up. I'm fairly certain Sprite is way more popular than 7-Up, but I don't really know for sure. But that's just from the marketing I've seen. I rarely ever see 7-Up anywhere. Although many people think shaving causes the hair to grow back quicker, there's actually no scientific evidence to support this. I feel like it does, at least that's my experience. In 1999, PayPal was voted as one of the top 10 worst business ideas. Well, how wrong they were, right? That just goes to show, if you have an idea, just don't listen to anybody. You know what I mean? Just do whatever you want, because no one really knows what's going to work and what isn't. Around 70% of people tilt their heads to the right rather than the left when kissing somebody else. That's kind of awkward if you're kissing someone, then, isn't it? Because what if they go to the right and you go to the right? They would have to go to the left. Or they can just, go to the right anyway, I suppose. The name Milky Way derives from the Greek Galaxias Kyklos, or Milky Circle, due to its appearance as a dim, milky band in the sky. A dog was the first living creature to be sent into space in 1957. If your throat tickles, scratching your ear can make it go away. There are more stars in space than there are grains of sand on every beach in the world. Of the 70% of water covering the Earth, only 3% of it is fresh. The other 97% of it is salted. Baltimore is the largest independent city in the U.S. with a population of 621,849, meaning it is not part of any county. Oh, it's been a long one. I'm slipping over words. Applying non-fat yogurt to a sunburned area is a natural way to deal with sunburn. Humans cannot walk in a straight line without a visual point. When blindfolded, we will gradually walk in a circle. Baby horses can walk and run after just a few hours of being born. Show-offs. Even though smoking has been banned on airplanes, ashtrays are mandatory on every plane. This is for safe disposal in case someone breaks the law. That makes sense, actually. I can see why that would make sense. 79% of pet owners sleep with their pets. Brussels Airport is the world's biggest chocolate seller, selling over 800 tons of chocolate every year. Although Saturn is the second largest planet in our solar system, it is also the lightest planet. The Apple Lisa was the first commercial computer with a graphical user interface and a mouse. When you have to make a choice, and every choice is a bad one, it's called a zugzwang. Victoria's Secret was only supposed to be a store for men to shop for their female partners without feeling too embarrassed. The mongoose is one of those rare animals that are immune to a snake's venom. In Greece, women are not legally allowed to wear high heels or tall hats in the Olympic Stadium. Most catfish are normally active at night. However, the peppered quarry catfish is active during the day. Lake Superior contains 10% of the world's fresh water. Erythemania is a psychological disorder where the sufferer has delusions that another person is in love with him or her. Carrots have zero fat content. I think that you can actually burn calories by eating carrots. Literally, you're losing more calories than you're gaining, is what I believe. Leather products like handbags or shoes can be polished with the inside of a banana skin. Simply rub it on and wipe it off with a cloth. Death by PowerPoint is a term relating to the intense boredom of useless PowerPoint presentations. Intentionally farting on a California prison guard. I think I moved my camera a bit by accident. Whoopsie doopsie. Okay, I think we're good. Intentionally farting on a California prison guard can get you an additional 11 years in prison. So don't fart on a prison guard is the moral of that story. Nearly every brand of hard liquor is vegan. Giving up alcohol for just 1 month can improve liver function, to increase blood pressure, and to reduce the risk of liver disease and diabetes. The Sesky Terrier is the rarest breed of dog in the world. Around 350 of them exist in the total worldwide. In the Philippines, it is considered good luck if a coconut is cleanly split open without jagged edges. Jack Daniel died from kicking a safe, the founder of the whiskey. When he kicked it, he broke his toe, which got infected. Clinomania is the excessive desire to lay in bed all day. I think we've all been there. Hawaii's state flag is the only U.S. state flag to feature the Union Jack upon it. The radio took 38 years to reach a market audience of 50 million. The television took 13 years, and the iPod took only 3 years to reach a market audience of 50 million. Pope Francis used to be a nightclub bouncer. King Kong was the first movie to ever have a sequel. Sonic the Hedgehog is in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the fastest gaming character ever. That's cool. Each day, your mouth produces anywhere from 2 to 4 pints of saliva. BTS was the first K-pop group to get their own Twitter emojis. The Green Lantern debuted in 1940, making the Lantern's first debut only 2 years after Superman's. Gleeking is the act of stimulating the salivary glands underneath your tongue into spitting a concentrated jet of pure saliva. Sorry about that. A lot of motorcycles in New York, apparently. I never see them, but they're there somewhere. Bill Gates' house was designed using a Macintosh computer. Playboy has been publishing Braille versions of their magazine since 1970. However, no pictorial representations are included. That's pretty cool. 26 is the atomic number of iron. The swan has over 25,000 feathers on its body. Allergic is a fear of opinions. We know many people with those. Temperature affects your attitude towards others. For example, if you hold a warm coffee as opposed to a cold coffee, you are more likely to be more selfless towards others. Male cats are called toms and female cats called queens or mollies. Nowhere in the Bible does it say there were 3 wise men, just 3 gifts. Ladybugs bleed from their knees when threatened. Butterflies have their skeletons on the outside of their bodies. This is known as the exoskeleton. Alright, we have 100 more facts to go. I think I can do this. I didn't think that I could do 1,000, but here we are, 3.5 hours later. 100 more facts to go, guys. And I'm feeling energized. I have a new life within me, and I think I can make it to the finish line. So let's do this. The creators of the PNG file format wanted it to be pronounced as ping. Dogs can be allergic to humans, specifically their dander. World Kindness Day falls on November 13th, and this is a day to make the world a better place for everyone, just by showing a little bit of kindness. Makeup has been used by women since before Cleopatra's time. They would use berries and other fruits to give their faces some color. 85% of people have experienced a dream so real that they were not sure if it happened in real life or not. When he was president, George H.W. Bush banned broccoli from Air Force One and the White House. I'm going to assume he really didn't like broccoli. The British tried to invent a ship made out of wood pulp and ice during World War II called Project Habakkuk. It was shelved due to costs. Although the saltwater crocodile has the highest recorded bite force in any animal, the muscles to open its mouth are weak. Its mouth can be shut with a couple of layers of duct tape. In over 35 British divorce cases in 2012 alone, the video game Football Manager was cited. It's like, all he does is play that stupid video game, Football Manager. He never pays attention to me. I can only imagine how that went down. The only 15-letter word that can be spelled without repeating a letter is uncopyrightable. The last picture taken of John Lennon was while he was alive. Had his killer in the frame. That's so creepy. That's so creepy. No, we don't need to know these things. Gasping for air in a high-altitude environment, plus UV light reflecting off the snow will cause the roof of your mouth to get sunburnt. The Tutankhamun's parents were brother and sister. The bottle of Coca-Cola, not the bottle, but a bottle of Coca-Cola, has a pH scale of 2.8 and could dissolve a nail in just 4 days. The Titanic was about 3 times bigger than Noah's Ark with a volume of 4.6 million cubic feet. The Eiffel Tower was inaugurated the same year Nintendo was founded and Hitler was born, 1889. The largest snowflake in the world was found in 1887. It was 15 inches wide and 8 inches thick. That's what she said. Not being cheeky. China banned Back to the Future because it contained time travel. So there we go. They don't like time travel. I don't know why, but Donald Trump owns and operates around 18 golf courses around the world. It's a lot of golf courses. January 10th is Peculiar People Day, a day to celebrate those of us who are a little quirky, weird, or eccentric, if you will. I sure remember that one for myself. Hey, it's Weird People Day. It's Weird Ass People Day. I'm one of those people, a weird ass person. January 10th, Peculiar People Day. I'll have to remember that. Aaron Carpenter got verified on Instagram on April 29th, 2015. The US government gave Indiana University $1 million to study memes. Why? But why? But why? But why? The government is, it's like a bunch of old dudes are like, yes, we need to study these memes. What are they all about? And then they start like learning about memes from like 2009. Cards Against Humanity celebrated Black Friday by digging a hole as long as people donate. They raised over $100,000. Coca-Cola was the first drink that was ever consumed in space. Enceladus was one of Saturn's smallest moons. It is one of Saturn's smallest moons. Reflects 90% of the sunlight, making it more reflective than snow. God is the only Simpsons character who has 5 fingers. The rest of the characters are only seen with 4. In India, the flying of a kite is illegal under a 1934 law, which classes kites as an aircraft. The very first bottle of Dr. Pepper was sold in America on January 12th, 1885. If I have to pick like a soda that's my favorite, it would be Dr. Pepper. Even though I rarely drink soda, I think Dr. Pepper is delicious. Apparently it's like a thing in Texas. For some reason, it's very popular in Texas. Nowhere else. Certainly not in New York, but I think Dr. Pepper's delicious. Their marketing sucks though, from what I've seen. Finger Licking Good had a bit of a mishap when translated to Chinese for their KFC outlets in the country. The famous phrase became "eat your fingers off." I mean, that'll work in a way, right? It's so good, you'll want to eat your fingers off. Giraffes' hearts pump twice as hard as cows' hearts in order to get blood to its brains. Nike was founded on January 25th, 1964 by Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight. The pinky promise was originally indicated that the person who breaks the promise must cut off their pinky finger. It all makes sense now. The pinky promise suddenly seems very serious, doesn't it? The television was invented only 2 years after the invention of sliced bread. Drinking water and staying hydrated will help the fluids in your sinuses from becoming sticky, which causes more snoring. In feudal Japan, lords purposely built homes with squeaky floors as a defensive measure against ninjas. The word peacock does not actually apply to both male and female birds. It's only the males that are called peacocks, while the females are called peahens. Together, the collective name for them is peafowl. In 1993, Alexander A. Serebrov took his Game Boy to space. Later, it was auctioned for $1,220 and is said to have orbited Earth 3,000 times. The patterns on a giraffe are totally unique. No two giraffes are ever the same. Geomellophagia, I don't know, is someone who has the urge to eat raw potatoes. Why would you have an urge to eat raw potatoes when they're so much better cooked? I don't know. But apparently some people have this urge. You know what I want to do today? I just woke up. I want to eat a raw potato. Because fuck them, that's why. I don't know. It's just weird. Drink green tea before bed to burn calories while sleeping. Green tea will also increase your metabolism. Now, that's actually a very interesting one. Of all the facts that we've read tonight, I feel like this one is the most applicable one to our lives that we can use. I have green tea in my cabinet. You might have some green tea in your cabinet. You can potentially use it and burn some calories while you're sleeping. I mean, it's worth a shot, right? I have a watch that tells me the calories that I burn, so I can leave it on at night and potentially see. Who knows what can happen? As of May 2015, 2.3 million Americans are still subscribed to AOL dial-up internet. These must be all elderly people, if we're going to be honest. Also, welcome to everyone that has joined the stream in the past 30 minutes or so. We have been going for the past 3 hours and 30 minutes, 1,000 facts. We are currently at 944. So, believe it or not, I have read through 900 plus facts. And I'm still feeling slightly energized, so we're almost at the finish line, but thank you all for joining. You know, if you're curious, you'll be able to watch the VOD later on. But nonetheless, let us continue. The average inmate at Alcatraz read 75 to 100 books per year. There are computers designed for Amish people with selling points like no internet, no video, no music. Overall, Subway actually has more chains than the fast food juggernaut McDonald's. I wonder if it's like cheaper to open a Subway. Maybe that's why, you know? In 1911, Bobby Leach was the second person to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel. He died 15 years later from slipping on an orange peel and getting gangrene. In Texas, according to Texas Parks and the Wildlife Department, it is illegal to kill Bigfoot if you find it. It would be considered a non-protected, non-game animal. During 1992 and 1993, the Coca-Cola Company was offered a chance to buy the Pepsi Cola Company, and it declined on 3 separate occasions. Putting your phone in airplane mode will stop ads while playing games. Cardi B's birth name is Belcalis Almanzar. A group of whales is called a pod. Bumblebees have hair on their eyes. The word android means a human with a male robot appearance. Triton, one of Neptune's moons, is gradually getting closer to the planet it orbits. The Earth is the only planet in our solar system not named after a Greek or Roman god. Kiss means pee in Swedish. In New Jersey, it is illegal to wear a bulletproof vest while committing a violent crime. Kind of a weird one, not gonna lie. The most leaves ever found on a single clover is 56. There is actually a difference between coffins and caskets. Coffins are typically tapered and 6-sided, while caskets are rectangular. Strategic incompetence is the art of avoiding certain tasks by pretending you don't know how to do them. A 23-sided shape is called an icosacatrigon. That was a mouthful. Turkeys aren't just for Christmas. June is National Turkey Lovers Month. Also, Thanksgiving. When Pablo Picasso died in 1973, he was the richest artist in history. I'm a little confused by that one, but we'll move on. The inventor of the the inventor of Vaseline, Robert Cheesebro, ate a spoonful of the stuff every single day. Led Zeppelin originally wanted to be called Lead Zeppelin, but they felt that thick Americans would pronounce the word wrong. Like I just did, right? Thick Americans. And then I go proving their point right. God damn it. Anyway, we'll move on. It's fine. The serial number on Darth Vader's suit of armor was E3778Q1. More than 45 million turkeys are cooked and eaten in the United States at Thanksgiving. Liege, Belgium, tried to use 37 cats to deliver mail in the 1870s. Most of the cats took up to a day to deliver the mail, and the service was short-lived. A female's heart is smaller than a male's by about 25%. Because of this, the female heart has to beat around 6 times more than a male heart to pump the correct amount of blood around the body. In 1325, 2 Italian city-states fought over a bucket, which resulted in 2,000 deaths. In the year 2000, the first permanent crew inhabited the International Space Station and have been there ever since. Turkey vultures use defensive vomit to get rid of any disturbing animal. They can propel their vomit up to 10 feet. During World War II, the very first bomb dropped on Berlin by the Allies killed the only baby elephant in the Berlin Zoo. Peaches are the 3rd most popular fruit grown in America. Jupiter has 69 moons. A few are 12 to 37 miles in diameter, but most are barely 1 mile in size. Jupiter itself is 317 times the mass of the Earth. In a survey, 33% of dog owners admitted to chatting over the telephone to their dogs. Losing weight is the most common New Year's resolution. A sunset on Mars is blue. In part 1 of the Battlestar Galactica miniseries, there is a scene where Serenity, the ship from Firefly, can be seen flying through the sky. The smallest possible measurement of length is known as the Planck length. Anything smaller than this would break everything we understand about physics. The social media website MySpace was founded in 2003 and sold for $580 million in 2005. At the time, it was the most visited social networking site in the world, and even surpassed Google as the most visited website in the United States. One of the earliest depictions of dreadlocks dates back to 1600 BC to the Minoan civilization, one of Europe's earliest civilizations, who lived in what is now known as Greece. The most expensive domain name ever sold was cars.com for an astonishing $872.3 million. As of September 2016, the giant panda was downgraded from an endangered to vulnerable on the global list of species at risk of extinction. The world's oldest surviving bank is Banca Monte dei Paschi di Siena, which was founded in 1472 and is currently Italy's 3rd largest bank. The letter Z is the last frequently used letter in written English. It is more common in American English than in British English due to spelling differences. The cardboard holder that you often get around a takeaway cup of coffee is called Zarf. The logo for the Monster Energy drink cans is not an M, as most believe, but are claw marks from a monster gripping through the can. In 2014, 2014, a YouTube video gained an international audience when they claimed that each segment of the claw mark looks like the Hebrew symbol for the number 6, making the logo 666 the number of the beast. People really need to stop being so bored and find something else to do with their time. The largest pumpkin pie ever baked was in 2005, and it weighed 2,020 pounds, or just over 960 kilograms. The triangle took nearly 100 years to become a popular orchestral instrument. The first computer virus ever created was called Creeper back in 1971. Shortly after this virus was created, Reaper was created as the world's first antivirus. The earliest mention of the mythical creature, the unicorn, dates back from as far as 2700 BC in Asia, and was described as a creature of great power and wisdom. The oldest webcam stream online today is the San Francisco Fog Cam, and has been operational since 1994. In Japanese legend, it is said that anyone who folds 1,000 origami cranes will be granted a wish by the gods. And the last fact, guys, fact number 1,000. We made it to 1,000. Doggerland is the area of land connecting Great Britain to continental Europe. It was flooded by rising sea levels between 6,500 to 6,200 BC by turning Great Britain into an island. And there you guys have it. That is 1,000 facts, just shy of 4 hours. It has been 3 hours and 46 minutes of non-stop action, if I do say so myself. My throat hurts. I am tired. I want to eat. I'm exhausted, but it was fun. And that's what really matters at the end of the day. This video is going to be up on my YouTube channel, of course. I don't know if I'm going to edit it first, then re-upload it, because let's be honest, it's 3.5 hours of content. This is good for like the YouTube algorithm and stuff, so I want to re-upload it, edit it a little bit, take out some noise if I can, put it back on the channel. We'll see. But regardless, for those of you who are joining towards the end of the stream, we have read through 1,000 random and interesting facts. The video will be up as a VOD. You'll be able to rewatch it at your time and leisure, and relax to it, you know. Thank you, Seth. You hung out till the very end, man. That's crazy. That's a whole 4 hours, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you for sticking through it all the way through the end. I don't know how many of you guys stuck around from beginning to end, but if you have, thank you very much. It's been a lot of fun. The Poke Kid, nice, you did too. I can't believe I listened to all of this, but it was great. Well, I appreciate it. I'm really glad you guys enjoyed. I hope it was relaxing and you guys were able to just kind of relax and, you know, chill out for a little bit. Yeah, well, I'm glad. I'm very glad. For everyone else that's been able to join tonight, thank you very much. I appreciate it. This will be up, as I mentioned, on my channel, and as always, guys, I'll see you in the next video and see you in the next stream. Take care. No, this is live, dude. This is live interaction, not a premiere. yeah, I'm live in the flesh. Either that, I'm very good, like, you know, deep fake. Who knows, right? Maybe I'm a deep fake. We may never know for sure, but yeah, you know. I'll edit this video up a little bit, put it back on the channel as an actual YouTube video. You guys can rewatch it. or maybe I'll just leave it up. We'll see. I have to go back and like rewatch or listen to it to hear how loud certain parts are when cars went by. So it's really a matter of that more than anything else. But yeah. That's hilarious. No worries, dude. No worries. I have not ever really streamed, right? I've been on this YouTube journey for the past 4 years, and I've only started streaming this year. So I think it's been fun so far, and I'm gonna keep doing it. So, but yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. And I'll see you in the next video, my friends. I'm gonna go get something to eat, so I hope you all have a good night, and I'll see you in the next video / stream. Good night, everyone. I love you all.